Hey.
Yeah. Welcome back. 3, 2, 1. It's too late. It already started. Hello, hello, hello. Oh
Hello.
man, you guys. This is gonna be one of the best podcasts I already know because we have a celebrity guest tonight because it's nighttime here. But tonight or today, wherever you're at around the world, here on the podcast. Um, I'm gonna jump right into it, baby.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good idea, huh?
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Growin Samoan podcast.
Yes, and we'll get into the intros, but I just want to let you guys know a little bit about our celebrity guest here. I'm gonna say some things. Our celebrity guest is a professional Polynesian dancer. I'm stumbling over my words.
Yeah, he's
Polynesian
so
dancer, American national TV actor slash dancer, has been featured in, let's see, Hannah Montana, Bring It On, America's Best Dance Crew, the show Glee, has been in appearances in commercials like Toyota, J-Lo. Remember J-Lo? You guys know J-Lo video with Fiat? The Fiat commercial with J-Lo. Let's see, the Judgment Day, Years of War, Xbox commercial, a Naked Juice commercial, live musical that was on Fox called A Christmas Story.
Yes.
Dancing with the Stars with Jason Derulo.
Okay.
Should I keep going?
Go, baby, go.
I'm gonna keep going. Star of the video Do It, performed by Tuxedo.
Yes.
Oh man, I love that video.
I love the hair.
I love the video. Shit, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, excuse my French, but also in one of the most best Christian videos by Israel Hoffman. Just want to say respect to that. Big up respect. Always keeping it to his roots. I mean, this guy. Let me keep going on. I'm gonna keep going on. You watched that? You ever watched that TV show called Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I did.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes. He was my Xerox guy.
The Xerox guy in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Let's see. Do you like music, hon?
Of course.
Do you like the Common Kings?
Love him.
Oh my gosh. Well, he was the one who choreographed Keep It on the Low video. Keep it on the low.
Yeah.
Keep
we
it on
played
the
it
low.
earlier.
Oh my. For Common Kings. Let's see. Oh, also, you heard of Netflix?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, there's this show on Netflix called Lucifer. Yeah, he's appeared in that too. Should I keep going on?
That resume is very long.
Yeah, let me keep going on. Oh, there was a movie called Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
You heard that movie?
Yeah, the one with the
the remake. The remake.
Yeah, the one.
Yeah. Well, he was in that one too. Oh my gosh. All right, listen. We're getting down to the bottom of this list, which is just a little list. This isn't the full, but this is some of the stuff.
Yeah, but we're gonna ask.
Okay, and
about that.
So recently, he's got a big shout out from the one and the only Missy Elliot. What's going on from doing the Missy Elliot challenge? Y'all seen that? I saw it.
Yeah, I did.
I was like, represent, cuzzo, represents. Also, this is what me personally, I was like, oh my Lord. I was like, and because this was something that our special guest really, really was like dreaming, striving for it to do, and he was able to do it. What was that? Ask me, what was it, baby?
What was it, honey?
Billboard Music Awards, Icon Award Performance, dancing with the one, the only Janet motherfucking Jackson. Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. Janet Jackson. So yeah, drop the mic. Thank you for attending, everybody. It was a nice show. Nice to know you guys. And we're just gonna end it right there. But no, seriously, you guys, ladies and gentlemen, Tainias and Tamas, women and children, people of all ages, we'd like to introduce and welcome our special guest of the podcast, the one, the only, Isaac Tualaulelei.
What's up, everybody? Hi, hello.
Oh my gosh. What's up, Cuddy?
Yeah.
You know, that list was pretty long. You know, I know it's longer, but you know, I just want to tell the world that yeah, this is my cousin.
No, really, it really
No,
is.
seriously. Because in the Samoan world, it's like, hey, The Rock, that's my cousin. But yeah, you know, it's funny that you're on. But before we go on now, I can tell everybody, talofa, talofa malolelei, aloha yorana, pula binaka, kiora, mabuhay, afade, and hello to everybody out there in the world. You've been around the world, right, cousin?
I've traveled. Yes.
Can you say something in another language?
Oh, of course.
Hello?
Like how to say hello and
Ciao. Italy, Napoli is one of my favorite places to go. So ciao. Ciao.
Ciao. Yeah. Of course, I heard it all the time. Just never thought about that too.
Right.
It's a way to say hi. It's a it's like a what am I trying to say? You can say it's both.
Oh, like hi and goodbye.
Yeah, you can say hi by like ciao. Like when you walk into a space, but when you leave, ciao. Same thing.
Kind of like a aloha, huh? In Hawaii, they use that kind of for everything.
Yeah.
So you know, yeah, ciao to all my Italianos out there watching the Growin Samoan podcast. Yeah. We may look Italian, but we are not. So ciao lofa to all you guys.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's dig in, man. Let's dig in. We have our special guest here, Isaac, and we just want to just put this podcast out there for the world to understand you and understand your perspective on growing up as a Samoan in a Samoan household through all your ups and downs, and then being able to do all the damn numerous things on this list. Damn. You know,
we are very inspired.
We're inspired and we're blessed to have you. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like just tell us a little bit about you and your your beginnings and where it all started from, where you got this inspiration to become who you are. Tell them. Well,
all right.
Truly.
Well, first and foremost, I'm happy to be here. So I just hope and pray that this touches people, you know what I mean? More than anything.
Oh, yeah.
Like you guys use words of inspiration. I think that that's key, especially now in this time and age, this day and age. There's so much to look forward to, but I think there's nothing, in my personal opinion, I don't think anything trumps, probably a bad word, but.
Oh, there's no filters. You're more than welcome to say what you want.
Like word of mouth, peer-to-peer sharing,
Yeah.
hearing someone's story firsthand as opposed to reading about it or, anyways, but I just feel like something about sharing a story or receiving a story is like important. But
Trump is not a bad word. Now grab her by the pussy. Now that's a bad word. All right. But let's keep going on.
Okay. No. My name is Isaac. First and foremost, I'm born and raised in the beautiful city of Seattle, and I'm proud of it.
Represent.
Yes. Growing up in Seattle, I always say that Seattle breeds. I think it's just the natural space that that is up here. It's lush, it's green, it's fresh. There's so much room for things to grow and stay alive and stay healthy, and everything is like, I feel like every year it just gets more and more green. So I feel like growing up here, that actually contributed to my upbringing or my imagination as a kid and my creativity, because I feel like I felt that energy from when I was younger. And
so you're saying it's like the fresh air?
Yeah,
like all that oxygen.
And not that smog air from LA that somebody was raised in down here.
Right.
Because we do got family members down in LA or whatever down there, Southern California. When they come up, the number one thing it says, "Damn, the air it's so clean up here,"
Well, Isaac has lived in LA, so he understands.
I
yeah.
play too.
Yeah.
It's my second home. But yeah, I'm proud to be from Seattle. Grew up in a Samoan family, Samoan raised in church. And I think that, you know, growing up, I first fell in love with dance. I would say I was like three or four. And rest in peace, I always have to acknowledge her. And so if I get emotional, I'm not sure if I will, but just know that it always happens. Yeah. My auntie Diana, rest in peace. She was the one who started me dancing when I was a kid. I was 3 and 4, and she would just have me watching Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson, to be specific, the Michael Jackson Bad video and Jackson Pleasure Principle video. Those are the 2 videos that I grew up on. And I would warp my Auntie K's tape on Uncle Pula's wife, Auntie K, or ex-wife, you know, now. Yeah. But she would climb up and rewind, and it push play, and then come down and watch the video. Climb up and rewind, and you know, she'd be like, "You're gonna warp my tape," and I eventually did. But that's how I started. You know, I started as this little kid who my aunt pushed in front of the TV, and you know, would root for me. And I love her for that, and I will always be grateful for that seed she planted. So that's how it started. You know, a little Samoan kid inspired by 2 superstars on TV and their music videos, and so with that, it just kind of sparked this like thing in me. You know, like I wanted to like. I felt like I was like, oh my gosh, I could be something like that, a star or performer. And you know, what's funny is in some interviews I've had, I mentioned my elementary school, and I have to for a reason. I went to elementary school in West Seattle, and within that school, what
was the name of the elementary school?
Well, the full name is Captain Stephen Stanislaw Elementary, and it sits on top of a hill in West Seattle, right there off of what is it? Delridge, and like, you know that hill that takes you up to the cemetery? Yeah. Well, if you come down say you're going opposite from High Point down the hill.
It's not Roxbury, is it?
No.
Oh, a little bit down more.
Is that 21st?
No, it's, you know where that Kmart used to be?
Yeah.
Oh,
by High
I'm
Point.
going up High Point.
Going up to the High Point area.
I'm all like, oh.
Yeah. If you're coming down with the cemetery on your left down the hill, you go past Delridge, and that hill literally right there with all those trees at the top of that hill is my elementary school. Okay. Shout out to them. No, go ahead. Yeah, and Miss T, Mr. T, and I bring them up because there was this group called Scats, and in order to make it into that group, it was a performing group. And in our school, you had to be able to ride a unicycle, juggle for a minute, hold a handstand for a minute, do 100 double unders, do a backflip, or you had to possess one of these skills to be on the team. And so you would work on your craft until December, and then by December they selected the team, kindergarten through 5th grade, and then once a month from January to June, we went and traveled to other schools and performed. I was in Double Dutch. So that was where I feel like I finally got to strike a match as a performer. Because I could perform and do my round of back handspring, and then Double Dutch, and do all this crazy stuff, flipping in the ropes, and then I became a turner.
And in elementary. And then now when you started that, was that like when you felt alive, like that spark?
Oh, yeah.
So okay.
Yeah, you know what? The thing that I felt from watching the music video, whatever that was that latched onto me, I was like, okay, this was my first outlet, like performing in front of people and feeling like, you know, what this felt like to have someone clap for you or support you or scream for you. Right. So I was like, oh, wow, I like this. So I was there for all 6 years of elementary school. And I think, you know, with every year, it gave me a chance to be better and learn a new skill or perfect something and be better. So by 5th grade, I was like, you know, last year, balls to the walls, like trying to do everything and be as best, try harder tricks for competition, because we competed every year with Double Dutch and every other thing, pull-ups, speed, jump roping, double unders. But Double Dutch was the big thing. And we would go against all the schools in Seattle. And so our school won every year. For like 7 years straight, we took first place. So to uphold the legacy, you know, it kind of gave me a fight with myself to like push to keep the goal or reach a goal every year. So I think those were like little things growing up that I didn't know back then were setting me up for my future.
What set you up to reach for the sky?
Yeah.
Dance with the stars.
Yeah.
Right next to Janet Jackson. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You know,
goal. Like, to see her at a young age and know at such a young age, I was 4, I was like, I'm gonna dance for her someday. Like,
Hey.
and as years gone by, I kind of grew with her. She went from Pro album to Rhythm Nation. Then I was watching her militant style and her crazy stuff on with Miss You Much and the lines and how clean they were. So it taught me, like, it gave me that by visually learning. You got to be clean, XYZ. So I climbed. Growing up, I had this dream that was forming, and it's hard. It's interesting because growing up in a Samoan family, and I'm not saying that my family didn't support me, but like
I do.
Like, what, you want to dance for who? What? Yeah.
What? You want to dance for who? I'm calling the fuck. What are you doing, Simon, in front of the TV? Go, hey, go watch your movie. Get over there. You're like, come on, man. Don't just try to.
Like, and then I was the youngest in the house out of 4 siblings. So God.
Oh, so you're the baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Sharice, Sharice, James, me, and then there's Andrew now. Then Andrew came in later.
Drew. Yeah.
Drew. So that's our younger brother. But I'm the youngest. So God forbid Janet come on. They're playing with the channels, and I'm like, wait, crying, like, please go back, go back to me, going through all that growing up, and
the older siblings are like, shut up, we're watching what we want to watch. Talo 5.
He's the youngest too. He understands your pain.
But big shout outs to Auntie Diana. Rest in peace. I never knew that. That's why I love doing these podcasts, because damn, that's inspiring. To know that.
Mossy.
That all started from Auntie Diana saying, like, hey, let me watch this video. Rewind it for us. We watch it again and again. Man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's her legacy through you. Yeah. Damn, we're getting deep now. We get them damn tissues out, man, because I know she's looking down right now. And everything's all good. Everything's all good because of you, through you. That's one thing that I kind of feel like, when we have that moment where we think about, like, for me, my parents, they're gone, and all of our other elders, ancestors. What I think about when I think about that, I think about, okay, their legacy is not completely gone because I'm here. Yeah. To continue that legacy, to tell stories about them. Like, hey, I didn't start this podcast because of me. I had inspiration from people, my parents, ones that passed on and stuff. They're the ones who gave me all this inspiration, kind of like you, like Auntie's, Auntie D's, inspiration. It lives through you. Her legacy lives through you. Damn, there's some deep stuff going on here. But it just shocks me, because that's one thing that I just love. I never knew about. It's kind of inspiring for a lot of listeners too out there too, that think, oh, maybe my loved one is passed, and if your loved one is passed, I mean, Isaac is a perfect example that their legacy can live through you. Yep. And that they're not gone, because their legacy is alive, through you. If you're alive, they're still alive too. So, damn, big shout out to Auntie D. Yes. And y'all gang like that. Man, I love it. I remember at Rhythm Nation. We are a part of the Rhythm Nation. It's taking me back. So after elementary, so what else, performance stuff got you going? And
oh man, I fell in line with two friends who, like, I still hold close to me.
Oh yeah.
Fell in line with Avia and Anthony. Okay. At late night at South Shore. Well, I met Anthony at Jubilee when I started going to Jubilee Christian Center. Shout out to Jubilee.
Jubilee Christian Center. Yep. It's church out here in Seattle.
Yes, and I met Anthony there, but I knew Avia. I knew both of them from back in the day when we used to play our softball games, because we went to High Point. Anthony was at Jubilee, and Avia was at Motus Church, or Vakavata Church in the South End, SCC. Okay. So we all played against each other as kids, got a little older, started to like ga'a late night, whatever. We crossed paths, and it was at late, and you guys know about late night too. So.
Late night was popping back in the day.
I know. I went to South Shore. I understand.
So late night was a weekend thing. It was just a community center in Seattle, the south of Seattle, which was
a place for middle schoolers and high schoolers to kind of just
it was like all ages.
free of adults.
They had basketball, free food,
volleyball,
and then they had
rec rooms.
They usually had didn't they have a DJ or somebody like playing music?
They had music. They had everything.
You know what's crazy is being from Seattle and gotta shout him out. Loose Screws, Jesse. Jesse was there studying the DJs. He would be behind the booth. Yeah. So while we were dancing, I always told him, like, bro, I remember you sitting there studying whoever was DJing, learning. So it's crazy because we're all like elevated and doing our thing now. But I look back, but that was a space where I started to like freestyle and dance and get into not even more like it was about the music videos because they inspired us. Like you had now like Missy and Timbaland coming out, Aaliyah who's filthy, 7 like you had all these cliques coming out and dance was starting to evolve. And Alvia and Anthony were with it, and I was like, whoa, they're like these popular Samoans and they can dance and I want to be a part of this. So I kind of for a little bit, but I knew, it sounds weird now to think back. I mean, I knew it was genuine. We were friends. We loved each other. But now that I think back, I was a little strategic about that friendship because I knew that they had something that I needed. I was like, I have to learn how to move like them. I have to be around that vibe, like the way they dressed, the way they spoke. The way they did their folders, like with the show off folder with the pictures all over the front, like everything about how fly they were, I was like, okay, it's time to upgrade. Like I need to figure out how to get this over there so we can learn something. But
the popular kids.
Yeah. Oh, I counted her, Galasua and T. T was a big. It's crazy because we went to church back at we went to church, your dad's church, Okoye Church.
Yeah.
And before all this, so that was the chapter before this.
Yeah.
Back then it was like we were doing. I don't know why, but Uncle Joe. Remember, rest in peace, Uncle Joe. He would be like, "It's all good," and all of us be in the middle dancing like we're at the club in church. I'm like, why am I doing the butterfly in the middle of the church?
Because the Holy Spirit was in everybody at the top, and we was popping like, "Hey!"
No, I was like, wait. Oh, okay. No, but
we was dancing for the Lord. That's what they told us. We was kids. We were all kids. We were just having fun. Hey, it's all good.
Yeah.
So this was like mainly like in the 90s though that you started at late night.
Yeah.
Like late 90s, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And it's a funny thing you mentioned that story too because Loose Screws. Big shout outs to DJ Loose Screws. I remember those DJs too.
Yeah.
Like one of the major DJs too, his name was DJ Banzai, and he was the Asian cat. And that dude was filthy. And the reason why they DJ'd in the community center was to teach anybody who was interested. So I used to go over there and take my records because at the time it used to be turntables like records. And sometimes I used to post with Banzai. And he would give me tips too. He was like, "Oh yeah, you want scratch battle? What's up?" And then because I used to be scratching and everything, and I always loved the Banzai because he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm just here for the kids, man. Well, everything we're doing here is all for the community." And I was like, "Dude, I love that." And he was like, "Anytime you want to come through and mix with me, man, let's do it." So when you mentioned, I was like, "Dude, I remember that." And then I know for a fact you were one of the ones that were probably like up against the wall. When everybody was dancing, remember when everybody be dancing when the DJ be cutting, and then everybody just be all like, all right, those are fun times though.
Yeah.
Big shout outs to South Shore Late Night, man. Those are fun times.
Those are great times.
And then I turned into the knucklehead and started going to the back of South Shore.
God.
You don't want to go to the back.
Stay inside. Stay inside.
I you know what? Like sidebar. I experienced the back one time. I went back there and I was like, I'm going back to the dance floor. I don't want to be back here. It's too dark. There's too many people over here.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you went back there on accident, you'll get chased. Like, what the hell are you doing back inside? Right. That's where all the big homies was all at in the back.
Oh my gosh. Those back stairs. I'll never forget those back stairs.
Shout outs to everybody that's experienced that. And around the world. I think around the world, everybody's had their own little community center, rec center, their own little late nights.
The moments, yeah.
Yeah, you know, and poly neighborhoods too. Because when this podcast, we're talking about in the back, in the inside, it was all polys. You have Meolis too.
The court, the basketball court, the dance room.
Yes.
It was all polys. All, you know, you looked around. That's why we loved it so much. And you'll have little Meolis trickle in here and there.
Yeah, we had a lot of Asians.
But it was just, that was a spot for all the polys to just go and just hang out, you know, if you act cheeky.
Yeah. When I look cute.
And then you go to the back, and then it's like, oh, you know, we don't want to be back here. And then all of a sudden, you know, the ambulance starts pulling up to the front, and somebody's passed out. OD.
Oh my God.
But you know, we went there to have fun, to you know, hook up with people, and I love the fact that I didn't even know that you used to be there inside the DJ room, because there's a rec center. And it was the whole cafeteria room was meant strictly for the DJ and all the dancers, just the kids, community. You know. And it's a trip. I didn't know that. I never knew that you were back there, you know.
There it was.
He was freestyling out on that
with
dance floor.
Avia and them. That's crazy. But big shout outs to them, though. They were your inspirations?
Yeah. They were those were my teachers, my first teachers. Who and it was harsh, you know, because they were good, you know, and when you're good, you don't, and I mean, it's no shade to them because they weren't teachers, they just were better, so they knew more, and so I looked at that like, this is a learning curve. What can I get from you? Regardless of how many times you yelled at me or I cried, like I still had to wipe my face and learn this because I knew that they had something to offer me. Like we were so I thank them for that chapter of my life because it steered me even further onto the path, you know?
So how did you move a step beyond later down the road? What was that thing that pushed you a little bit further than the late nights rec centers?
We went back. Okay, so from South Shore, because I went to South Shore and UGM. You know, Jubilee was always at UGM, and then we would come to South Shore if we were like really
I understand.
Everybody would be like, "Oh, at the youth service on Friday, you go to UGM? Yeah, we'll see you guys over there." Yeah, they get on the in the van, and we get on the bus, and we go straight down to the South Shore, and they cut over to UGM.
Tell them.
So these places were not that far from each other, so it's crazy because I was like 12, 13, we were out until like midnight 1, but like it's just a different time and place. But like as I got older, it's GM because then Christina Reed, shout out to her, and love guys, they pulled me in and they pulled Capel, Ethan. So this is where a whole other person came into my life. She pulled me, Ethan, Orpel, and Anthony in for the summer program in 2001. And she literally I want to say quarantined us. She was like, "You guys are living with me. You're staying with me. I'll take you to get clothes, but we're gonna build this dance program." Hey. So there, to answer your question, was the next step or platform to climb. And now I'm in a leader position where she was bringing in dancers, kids who wanted to dance, and we formed a group. And our name was Forgiven because we were at UGM.
Okay, hold on. Before we go on, to the listeners around the world. In Seattle, there was 2 gyms that you went to on Friday night and Saturday night, community center gyms. Now, on the one hand, you have UGM, United Gospel Mission Gym. So you go in there, it's cool, it's fun and friendly, Union. Everybody.
Union, right?
Union Gospel Mission, yeah, UGM. Why would I say?
United. Okay.
Oh, sorry. So Union Gospel Mission. And, we used to love hooping in there too. It had everything, the same things that late night had. And then you had late night, which was South Shore Middle School, the whole. So late night was the kind of, I'm going to go and kick it over there.
Yeah.
That's the gym where you just go kick it. You go do whatever you want to do because it's hosted by just the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the city of Seattle. They just opened
Rose and Mecca.
Yeah. Oh, Becca. Oh, hey, you know, she was always out there, you know, saying, what's that? I remember.
Oh,
man.
Miss Tavai.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, can you tell I went to South Shore? I still call her Miss Tavai.
So those are the two community centers that, as a poly growing up, you had to choose. Like, do we want to go and just be safe and have fun, or you want to go be hula valley? Oh man, that's too funny. So then, you know, so Isaac kind of veered over to where the Angels were because he got saved. While, you know, we were just like, no, but big shout outs to the Union Gospel Mission. You know,
Yes.
John Reed, all them cats. Mike, I used to always hoop with them cats, man. Look, and you know, props to all of them. Everybody had been over there. Sai was over there too, man. Big shout out to Rev Sai. And man, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was, yeah.
What was the name of your group again? What was it called?
Forgiven.
Forgiven. Oh, see? Forgiven. They chose the right path, you know. Thanks to Christina. So that's what made you like kind of
That was the next
give you a
stepping
little
stone.
to the next level. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happened from there?
That was like the summer after my freshman year in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like ready, you know what I mean? Ready for like whatever. So then it goes back to Tai high school. Formed a dance posse group with my closest friends in high school. It was me, Jeff Balenga. Jeff Balenga.
Jeff was the dancer?
Jeff danced. Jeff could gig.
What?
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was me, Jeff, Ronay and Rovina. They were sisters. My homegirl Helen Gedlu. She's still dancing in the industry with me. Like still doing.
Okay.
Isaiah Rashad. He's still an industry dancer as well. But we formed a clique, and Devin. Devin was a part of it too. She's family now.
Oh yeah. Big shout outs to Devin.
Formed the dance group.
She's our neighbor. Shout out to David, our neighbor.
Right.
Yeah. Family always stay close.
And then high school became my new stage, and then I fell in love with cheer, so I joined the cheer squad just to perform. I love the framework of cheer and like the hard. It's a lot of work. That was a lot to take on, but I saw it as a chance to perform, and just keep being in front of people. And then on the side of cheer, we had our hip hop squad, and then that was the first big break I think I ever had was in high school when Showtime with the Apollo went on tour, and they went to cities. We auditioned and we made it. So that was we were like, oh my gosh, we're doing Apollo.
Well, let's just add that to the list. You see what I'm talking about, people?
Your resume is growing.
Showtime. I forgot all about that too because there's still video of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Of the Showtime at the Apollo performance. And Devin was a dancer too.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. So you and Devin and what's the name of you guys' crew?
Oh my gosh, we chose the worst name.
What was it? What was it? What?
That was the worst name you could take to Apollo because people are ready to boo.
Uh-huh.
We went with Ones You Love to Hate.
Oh no!
Oh dear! Oh no!
When they announced this, he goes, "Give it up for the ones you love to hate." I was like, "What the heck are you thinking?" And we didn't get booed off. Thank you. We didn't get booed off.
Oh, you guys did it. You guys didn't.
That was a like, eyes wide moment. Like, because the Paramount Theater seats about like, I don't know, 6,000 maybe.
And
so,
what grade in high school were you when you guys did the Apollo?
I was a
junior, sophomore.
I was a junior.
So junior year was like boom. Oh wow. I can't believe all this time dancing, we're doing this first big gig, for the Apollo. The Apollo people, dang. Okay, and then keep go on.
Yeah, and then from there, it's my training. I started to hear about dance groups in Seattle. Like, okay, you would train with to perform on bigger level or bigger scale or stage or get training for just training. And my senior year, junior into senior year, the summer of 2003, I was actually a part of a musical. Oh wow, I don't even have that. This is an important thing. I did a summer musical for Langston Hughes, and it was called Soul of Beauty and the Beast at the Paramount again. So that was 2 years or a year later, I was back at the Paramount. oh my gosh, whatever, been here before. But that was the summer for me where the match was like, oh, I want to be a dancer, because I was in a musical. I had my own group, because I didn't make this group that was called Breed. Boogie's Own Breed, this website that was huge back then. There was a team in Seattle and a team in LA. Well, the choreographer came to Seattle, pulled everybody together. They had an audition. Our friend Isaiah, everyone from Tai audition, no one made it but him. So he made it on the team. So I was, to be honest, I was like hurt, and I wasn't angry towards him. Yeah. I was just bitter, like, whoa. Yeah. Do I suck? Like, questioning myself. So I created my own group called Point Blank that year. No.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. You had a little bit of hate. There was a little bit.
I wasn't like, it wasn't towards him at all. I was like happy for him, but it was hard because I was happy for him, but I was so hurt. Like it was such like a like push and pull. Like, oh yeah, I'm happy for you, knowing damn well I'm like scarred. Like,
yeah.
My ego. And I take that as the universe and God, like, literally flagging my ego down. Like, you need to sit your ass down and calm, bring this down. You're feeling yourself. And so,
and it also kind of like gives you that little drive too.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Okay. It pushes you.
It burned my ass. Like, it was like a forest fire under me, and I was like,
when you got that, like, congratulations. Like, good job.
You know how I found out? I'll never forget. I was at Bev's house, and they released the list. He covered his computer, and because they were all like, "Oh, you're gonna make it. You're gonna," they were rooting for me. He covered his computer, and he read the list, and he goes, "That's it." And I remember being like, "Oh," but he read it in front of his brother and his wife and like a handful of people, and I remember going outside and crying. So me. And I didn't even change, but like me, him, and Charlene. Charlene is
Tina's sister.
Sorry, Charlene's Okimi. Well, now, but me, Belle, and Charlene became best friends that summer of 2001 with Tina. So here we are, 2-3 years later, and they had my back so tough. They're like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, fuck that. No, I'm sorry, you're gonna cut. I was like, fuck that. I was like, if I can't make this team, I'm gonna make my own team. So I made Point Blank, and me, Belle, and Charlene headed it. Was in it. Jessica Lalonga was in it. Helen. We brought all our hitters, and we did every show. I told myself, I said, every show Breed is in, we're performing with them. So I literally would, whenever he goes, oh, Isaiah would be like, oh, we have a show at this place. I would hit the place. Hey, you need more dancers? Oh yeah, okay, I love dance. You know what I mean? Like, I did it because I wanted that team to see me and my team shine, but more like, you're gonna see what you missed out on, type thing.
You know what? Like, in life, how they say about like food. Sometimes a little salt on it makes it taste a little better.
Right. I was like, what?
That's that drive. Though.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened? Then what happened?
No, that was February, and then the summer I did the play, and Blank and Breed was dancing, and we were performing the same places, media, the place, and then towards the end of the summer, they had the second audition. I went in there, and then I made the team that August.
That's funny.
And that's the team that literally prepped and groomed and molded and scolded and taught me lessons about like dance training. Mm-hmm. That was when I was introduced to a mirror, because we never, coming from like, how we came up, I never grew up in the studio. I never had the money, the funds, the means to have that, what am I trying to say? It just wasn't there for me. I didn't have it, to go to a studio, train in ballet, jazz, and tap, and then have hip hop.
You didn't have all the necessities, the equipment.
You just didn't have the funding.
Not only the funding, but like just everything, the tools.
Well, you need the money to have the tools.
Just being a little more vulnerable for whoever's listening, like coming from a broken home, I didn't know what that was like, to even think of extracurricular activities. Like, what's that? Oh, I have Bible study, I have local Mickey, I have choir practice, I have jump rope practice if I can go, and then I have home. Dance was something I kept alive within myself. And so growing up, when I got older, and I'm like, what? But here people are like, I've been dancing since I was like five. And they're like, yeah, studio, you started with tap and ballet. And I'm like, they asked me, well, you're talented, you're good. Where'd you start? And I'm like, in my living room.
In your living room.
I keep it real. The living room and the TV was my studio, and I loved it. Award shows, live stage performance, music videos, that was my muse.
Right.
Tell the listeners and the viewers a little bit of before you were able to get in front of the mirrors, the studios, how you practiced, just like you said. Like what were the details of how you practice? Because before you answer that, the other thing that's on this list, people, is that Isaac is a choreographer and has studios from Seattle to LA and teaches in those classes, in those studio rooms with hundreds of people that just, you'll explain later, but go ahead, answer that question. You're the beginner roots of all that.
No, there was no such thing as a reflection. Like there was nothing I felt when I'll stick to this and I'll go into the mirror, what the mirror felt like. But just your living room, a radio, the bathroom, you know, like parties.
Yeah.
Simple, you know, those things, you know, gatherings, school dances, you know, that's where I would practice.
Right.
But, like, you know, I remember even when we were older and we had like rehearsal for Point Blank or high school rehearsals, we would be in the parking lot, we would be in the nurses' lounge, like with no mirrors in the foyer at times. We'd be outside, like in the rain. Devin can, like one of the girls whose family now, we were practicing her parking lot. Like, you know, they moved the cars up so we have space in the rain, in the dark. Like,
hey, in the rain with the lights on?
Huh?
With the lights on?
Yeah,
the lights on?
She would turn. Yeah, we would turn one of the car lights on or one of the garage lights on just for something.
What was that dance movie where they were battling in the rain with the car lights on? And like, was it Step Up? So you were doing Step Up before Step Up even came out. Say it, represent, say it.
But you know, that's what it was, and like that conversation comes up a lot now. You know what I mean? I'll wait to get to now, but to bring more up. But you know, I found myself and my peers, especially my peers who are around my age and came up the same way. We all speak the same language. Like a lot of us didn't come from luxury. You know, it was all we had was a boombox and rhythm and the nerve to go after a dream. You know, and that's what it took. You know, to like reach.
That's the reason why I want to ask you that question, because you know, for all of our Samoan, Polynesians, Micronesians, Melanesians out there, you know, who have that dream. I mean, you're a living inspiration that just proves anything's possible, no matter what you have. I mean, you guys did, especially you did what you did with what you had.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's got you. It's all about that drive, you know, that inspiration or that motivation, really.
Yeah.
You know, which brings me up to another good question. Like, what motivated you all those years in the beginning to just keep pursuing your dream?
To be dead ass honest, it was the lack. It was the lack of everything for me. The lack of
like support or
not support, like
feeling of fulfillment?
No. It was everything that I lacked. Like, you know what I mean? Like seeing, like, growing, you know, like not really having much, you know, like.
Oh, you on the right podcast. Then you mean about being broke?
No. Yeah, but I say lack because it was like, you know, like not so much support. In a sense, yes, support, because then sexuality comes into play.
Yeah, more self-esteem issue, right?
Huh?
Like a self-esteem issue.
That there's that, because it's like not being taken seriously. You know, people being ridiculed for the choice of wanting to do something like this, being almost like chastised for like thinking
something
like,
different than the norm.
Yeah, thinking outside the box. Like it was all those things, and it could have easily been channeled into like depression or like a heavy blanket or a weight that would have weighed me down. But somehow, like, I don't know, I thank God for my mind. Like, I really do thank God for the way that I think, because I was able, even at a young age, was able to just take it and put it in my back pocket for now. And then it fueled me as I got older, you know, to just keep going.
Right.
Keep going. So all those little nuggets that meeting, performing in elementary school, that was another moment where I was like, wow, this is something. And then meeting Anthony and Alvia and T, and then wow, okay, I'm climbing a little bit more. The meeting Bella, then performing in high school, then Apollo. It was like an invisible ladder that just kept creating new steps as I trusted and climbed. And so
each of those kind of helped motivate. It was like a booster, like a self-confidence booster.
Yep.
That you're doing the right, you're going the right way, right?
Reassurance for myself and my own personal like just for me, like deep inside, I'm like, okay, this feels right. I may still be getting laughed at from this person, or they may still be making fun of me or have an opinion. But for me, deep somewhere in this body, it feels like I'm going the right way. So that's why, that's what literally kept me on my toes, was just trusting that, like, okay, my dream isn't in vain,
Trusting your gut feeling that you're doing the right thing.
Looking back on all the experiences and say, no, it's I did some good, and it's still getting, I did another thing good, and just keep going and going because of everything that's been happening, and proceeding with it. Yeah, I apologize because, the only thing that drives me is just being broke. That's why I said, being broke.
Oh, that too. No, that too. That's a part of it.
That is a part of it. It's everything.
Everything, you know what? We're not even to my LA point where I moved to LA yet.
Okay.
But when I moved to LA, that was the first time I ever had my own bedroom, ever. I was 22 years old.
I understand.
People, this is real talk.
I don't even have my own room still.
This is real talk. What? How you gonna say that when I got to this little small part of the closet? If you're watching the video, this is how much room I get in the closet. And the closet is almost way bigger than the whole this room.
Right.
And this is all I get, this little spot right here.
The people out there, they understand that saying, that happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. Or if she's Samoan, you get the knife. but no.
Awesome.
People, this is real. This is real raw, real life. Isaac, Samoan. You said, wait. So when did you move to LA?
I moved to LA in 2008. So this is okay. So groups.
Let's fast forward to that. Yeah.
Performing, and with 2 groups, I was on Boogies on Breed, Point Blank, and Cruise Control. So these are Cruise Control and Breed were the 2 things you wanted to 2 of the groups at the time that you wanted on your resume, or the training you wanted, because it prepped everybody the most for LA. It was that kind of training, and it was here in our backyard, in Seattle. And so they were.
These are the main dance groups that are in a real national, from Seattle. Okay.
And the 2 leaders of the group, they're both from Rainier Beach.
RB, Rainier Beach High School.
Right. People know Elm. They used to have a group called Baneful Brew back in the day. 4 bad Filipino boys used to go off. And there's Elmer Pizarro and Daniel Cruz. They were the 2 who used to kill Rainier Beach back in the day. And so they got older and they formed their companies. Both of them moved to LA. Daniel danced for NSYNC, Michael, Prince. So he had, his resume, came back and started to give back to us. But they're watching them, inspired me. So thankfully, I was a part of both companies. And so got my training and then moved to LA in 2008. That was when I moved to LA.
Okay. So you got training from both, not even just one, but from both of them.
Both.
Yeah. Give me just a second.
Hey, shout out!
Pick up.
The kids be loud on the video game.
Sorry, it's very raw and organic.
Because, that's 2008, right? Okay, so for the listeners, I remember when there's apartments called the Juanita Apartments, in Burien, on the west side, and we used to live up the street from there. And you guys stayed at the apartments for a minute, and I remember we used to come down there. And you were younger. You were very younger at that time, and this was during that time. I think around the South Shore, late night times. It's right before that.
Right before, yeah.
And I remember, I was a little older. I used to just come out there and just hang out, with the OGs. And I used to see you and in the Sibs, but mainly just you and Reese. And you guys would come out like the little ones and just play around. And that's how I remembered you. I was like, oh, look at little Isaac. Isaac just hanging out. He's playing and having fun. And then fast forward years forward, I think it was the America's Best Dance Crew when everybody was like, hey, and this was during what like pre-Facebook. This was just MySpace days or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's just getting it's getting jump started.
So we had like, I mean, the internet is all just coming out, and I was like, but America's Best Dance Crew was popping. Jabberwockies. That's how everybody know the Jabberwockies, right? So I used to watch it because I was like, hey, that fool's is sick, the Jabberwockies. And when all of a sudden they said, Isaac's on the dance group on that. And I was like, what? I was like, what, for real? And then you guys came on. I was like, oh, I was like, Stas, that's Isaac. And then that's what I knew. I was like, damn, Isaac been doing some things all them years, you know, because when we separated from the church, it's like that's when we just had on the last podcast with Nana, we were talking about the same thing. You know, a lot of Samoan families who grow up in the church, and then even though you're related and everything, then you move on, and then you rarely see each other for years, right? Yeah. And then I seen that, and you were on America's Best Dance Crew, and I was like, yes, what's up, man? You're doing big things. And then fast forward, it was like 2009, around the time you moved to LA. We're living in Puyallup at the time, right?
Yeah, he shows me.
I get off of work. Yeah, and then I'm like, I just want to watch TV. Oh, what's this show? Oh man, okay, I'm gonna try this show out. It just aired out, and the show was called Glee, because it was about, you know, high school stuff. And I was like, oh, I like this show, and I told her, I was like, hey, come watch this show with me, Glee, right? And then all of a sudden, a few episodes down the road, I was like, man, I look like Isaac. And I was like, I was bumping like, that was my cousin Isaac. It's like,
I said, yeah, he's Paulie.
Yeah. So you were in the scene with the Beyonce single ladies. The single ladies one, yeah. And I was just like, yeah, man, Isaac's doing it. I just wanted to throw that in because I remember you were just talking about 2008. That's the time you moved down to LA. So how was it like down there? And you know, what happened? What's the story when you moved down to LA? Or what made you move down there anyways? Right. Was that to pursue the goal? Because normally that's the thing for actors and dancers, right?
Being a part of Boogie's Own Breed and Cruise Control, I was watching people move. Like they were leaving and they were becoming successful. Like,
oh, okay.
So you know, when you see that trend from people who are training from the same batch or same bunch that you're in, like family, you're like, oh, you start to question like, well, what am I doing with it? You know, then you train to get better and you get better, and then they would come home and they would visit. And they'd be like, oh my gosh, like, whoa, you're dope now. Like, congrats, keep doing it. But then you see these people who you knew, but now they're dancing for Destiny's Child and Beyonce and Rihanna, and like it's crazy because shout out to my homeboy Brian Tanaka. He was one of the boys that left, and I looked up to him so much. He was like older brother to all of us, and when he left, I'll never forget. I was at home, and there's a football game that comes on in February, not the Super Bowl, or like January, I want to say. It's like in Texas. It's a specific bowl that happens. I can't remember. Maybe the Pro Bowl, but it's televised because the Pro Bowl isn't televised, is it?
Yeah. It's probably the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, well, I remember Destiny's Child opened, and they started their I don't know, I'm such a Scorpio, I'm detailed, but
no, it's fine. No.
It was when they came out with Lose My Breath, that era.
Yeah.
And they started in the middle of the field and they marched all the way to the stage. And we're like, oh my God, this is dramatic. Like, this is so much. But when they get there and they turned around to sing, I saw him behind them and I was like, that's Tanaka. I was like, oh my God. And so like, I'm like on MySpace, like, Tanaka's on, we're all talking about, like, what? So those things, I'd be like, whoa, like, that's so sick. And then one of the girls, her name's Chanel, she was in like the Jay-Z video, Brush Your Shoulders Off in the car, like, I was just like, wait, these are people who I know from home. So the more and more, and then when Helen, my homegirl, who was like my sister, till this day, like loyal to the soil, when I saw her go out there and she started booking, and she a month after her getting there, she booked her first tour. She was on tour with Amarion, and then she was on tour with Marcus Houston and Amarion. Then she was in like then she was in the Paula Deanda. She's in the Paula Deanda song that everyone likes.
Oh
She's
yeah.
Rose.
Yeah, I like Paula Deanda. I listen to Paula
What song is that? What song is that?
Messages and voicemails. Telling you I missed you, baby. Am I doing?
I know. There's she has like 2 main ones.
Yeah.
That's the one that where she's like in the video.
Yeah.
She's with her friends. There's 2 friends.
Yeah.
What's your friend's name? Helen
Gedlu. That's my girl. She's from Seattle. Seattle Red.
Big ups.
Yeah, but no, it was that those things would happen, and so I'd be like, you know what?
Doing too much. Sorry.
That's the name of the song.
That's the name of the song.
Okay.
But then I was taking this convention. I was introduced to like this hip hop convention called Monsters of Hip Hop, and they were like, oh, these choreographers are gonna be there. They're the choreographers of Janet. They choreographed for Black NSYNC. They choreographed for You Got Served was hot. So the choreographer from You Got Served was on the tour. Okay. And I was like, I have to go to this thing. So me and Isaiah, all of our friends, and back then it was like $195 to go for the weekend. It was a double in SeaTac. But back then that was like I didn't work. I was fresh out of high school, and so I'd be like asking Uncle Joe, Mama, my mom, Sharice, Mike, like, can you guys please help? Like, I have to go to this thing. Went there, and it was a whole other match. I was like, wait, what is this? Like, I'm where I need to be. So here I am with all from Boogie Zone, Breed, in Seattle, and then with my family, like Helen and Isaiah. And you dance, you take classes, and then what they do is at the end of the weekend, they give you these scholarships to come back, to go to LA. You have free classes in LA, or there's an agency scholarship where an agent's there, and they'll invite you to the agency. So I went to that convention for 3 years, 4 or 5 and 6. And so I was getting, every time, thankfully I was getting, I'd get a scholarship. I'd always scholarship or something, because you have to audition. Well, in 06, I remember going, and I told myself, I'm going to go to every class. I'm not skipping classes this time. I'm going to go full out. I'm going to perform. And so the agency went up there, she goes, yeah, thank you guys so much for, everyone's hard work this weekend. There's only 4 people I'd like to acknowledge, to invite them to MSA, McDonald's Sales Nick Associates. And that, my homeboy Tanaka, who was in for Beyonce at the time, he was with them. So I was like, MSA. So yeah. So yeah, she called the 2 little boys, and then she called this girl, and then she goes, and then last but not least, she goes, I might butcher your last name. She goes, Isaac Oh my gosh. Hey! And when I got it, kept that in my back pocket. I told her, I said, I'm not sure if I'm moving soon, or I don't know. It was already on my mind, but I was like, I gotta, I'll let you know. She goes, whenever you're ready to move down, just email us and we'll set you up. So then that's what happened. When
damn,
that's an opportunity. Definitely.
Yes.
That's like a motion picture for a Samoan motion picture. If who's that new director out there? Takiri, the little guy, from Waititi.
Something like that.
Yeah, he need to make a movie about you.
The New Zealand.
I would love that.
For real, I'm serious.
It's only my first chapter, so it has to be like three parts.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one, because I know I just have so much more to do out there. But yeah, that's LA. I eventually mustered up the strength and like the willpower to go, and top of 2008, after I did my last show at the Moore Theater downtown, me and one of my girls flew down. My home, Sienna Lyons, my sister, we flew down, and she was a fresh 18, fresh out of high school, like just like young and like ready to go. And she was like, yeah. So we went down there for 3 days. We had 3 days to find an apartment and sign to our agencies. So the first day we both went to.
Is she okay now?
Oh, she's killing it out there right now. Okay,
because I was about to say, man, I think at that age, 18, fresh out of high school, Hollywood will swallow you.
Yeah, but in those days, I mean.
But she had Isaac though. She had Isaac though.
She had like, we were there for each other, and her mom, she comes from a very, very strong family. Like her mom is like, her mom would let her slide. She knew how young she was, but she trusted that her common sense would kick in, and it did.
Common sense, that goes a long ways, in life. You know what I'm saying? Especially street smarts, common sense. I mean, some people just ain't got it, But
yeah,
especially when you go down to LA. I mean, this one from Long Beach. I was raised in Carson for a while. We moved up here, and sometimes we just like, we tell each other like, dang, our kids wasn't raised how we was raised down there.
They don't understand how lucky.
We're just thankful, thank God.
Yeah.
But having street smarts and just common sense. I mean, like you said, your friend, she's good. She's good. So big ups to her moms.
That's how I got. I got the agency call, waited 2 years, moved down there, got the apartment, and we left in March.
Okay. So, man, it's just insane because now you're down there in LA. You're doing all these things, and you know what? We look at you as like, man, this is Isaac. He's our family. He doing things, man, and we're just happy, right? So happy because all of a sudden we'll see you on this commercial. We'll see you on that commercial.
Like, oh
we'll see you on this show. We'll see you on that show. We'll see you dancing, and all of a sudden, well, I mean, even till today, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was it last week? Missy Elliot, she put you out on her Missy Elliot challenge.
Yeah, she did a shout out.
Yeah. We're gonna put all the links to everything on the show notes, so everybody who's listening.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my editing. I'm put all the links so you guys can see Isaac and everything that we talk about because it's special for Samoans, and all polys, that need some inspiration, that think, this is something impossible for me to do. Well, it's not, people. It's not. This is living inspiration right here. And also at the bottom of the show notes or at the end of the show, we're going to put all, Isaac's information, and whoever wants to talk or, wants to get a hold of him, for inspiration or just to do podcasts, to interview. I mean, that's why, I love you. I love you, Isaac. And yeah, your story needs to be shared everywhere, especially in our, Samoan / Polynesian community,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And, just
not just locally, but on a global level, Yeah. So, I mean, I think you are a very true inspiration as well as a key motivator for those.
Because another thing is, we grew up together, Isaac, and I was a little older generator, right? Just a little older, and I knew, that the struggles that our whole entire families had to go through, the stuff that we don't like to talk about, the street life, all the, the hard stuff. And, if you want to, ask Isaac about that one-on-one, go right ahead. But
no, I just want to share that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll tell you guys right now, that's why this story needs to be made into a movie, because
I actually want to speak on that, if that's okay.
Go ahead. You speak on anything. Yeah.
I don't think people, like, when I share this with my friends, especially people who come from like a solid home, one house, elementary to middle school to high school with the same friends, and then dance life. Like, I tell them, like, at one point we moved within a 6-year radius, 6-year time frame. I think we moved like 31 times.
Mm-hmm.
Homeless, to shelters, to cousins' houses, back to motels with vouchers from the DSHS, back to another shelter, back to to a family's house, back to home apartment, getting evicted, back to like that.
Preach it.
So when you ask me like what kept me motivated, you know what I mean? That's a part of the word lack. You know what I mean? Yes. The lack of a home, the lack of a foundation, a set foundation,
financial stability,
financial issues. And like, I don't blame, the older I get, I thank God for maturity and I thank God for wisdom, because through experience you gain both if you want to.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Hey.
And I thank God for like allowing me to be that sponge that takes both. And I still have a lot to learn. I always tell me I'm forever a student, but in any situation I'm in, I always try to seek out what the lesson is or what that silver lining is and hold on to that, because no matter how crazy, say it's like an airplane, turbulence is going, as long as I see that or the bigger picture, I know I can find peace somewhere within this, knowing I'll be fine, Some people don't get, some people just don't find that, and that's okay. But like, I'm just here as like a real life, I guess, like, a living testament to the fact that, you can go through some shit. Adversity is real,
Hell yeah.
Real, but at the same time, so is willpower, so is determination, so is mind.
And these stories need to be told.
Yeah.
They need to be
Yeah.
told.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, your story needs to be told. It needs to be told. It needs to be heard. You know, and there's a lot of people with, you know, that like your friends, you know, that have made it, that you were dancing right next to. You know, it's just, there's so many stories that can be told of inspiration. That, look, people, we've been through it too. We've been through, like you said, damn, 31 times. You guys.
We counted. Trees counted one time, and I was like,
oh my Lord.
And that's like, yeah, it's a lot.
I thought our family had it back. I tell her all the time that that's all we did was move. But that, I think that's like a record that I've ever heard of. You know what I'm saying? God.
Within, yeah, there was a lot of moving around and a lot of, you know, it's like we talk about it now, you know, in the now, and we're like, we've lost so much stuff along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, like storage is being bought out, or not being able to pay for the storage, so now all that's gone.
Oh,
you know,
the auction. Yes.
These trunk, like, remember those old Samoan like treasure chest trunks?
I think every family had one of those.
We had like 7 of them. We don't have one. Those were like gems, you know, like heirlooms and gems and like history. But you know, at the end of the day, I was like, I try, now that I'm older, I try to believe that like history and like the past, you know, you keep that in your heart. You know, you keep that up here. You share that so that at least it's alive.
Boom.
You may not have part of it, but you have the memory and the feelings to kind of match the two and present that as like something, you know, for someone to kind of carry on. That's
what this podcast is. Your treasure chests are still alive.
Yeah.
Through this podcast, you just saying it and speaking about it, it just brings it back to life. You know, that's why, you know, damn, man.
You're leaving your digital footprint.
Yeah.
Here in the world.
Yeah, because that's the one thing I love about podcasts and having, you know, like people like you and everybody else, the guests to come on, is that this is the internet. Once it goes on, it's there, forever. You know. So you can say what you want to say, and, you know, it won't be another treasure chest lost. You know, people will stumble upon it and they'll open this treasure chest, like the story about Isaac, you know, on the Growin Samoan podcast interview. Holy shit. I never knew that about. I never knew he was the dancer. He's Samoan, and he went through all that. You know, damn. You know, if he can do it, I can do it. You know, this is it, man. This is the podcast. You know, I love, and damn, man, this is good. This is good stuff.
Yeah, it's just like for everyone out there. Like again, it's not. It's funny because it took me a while to speak about that part of my life without feeling anything. You know what I mean? Because you know, you get that, you feel you feel like,
oh yeah,
taboo.
You know, shame is the first thing to, you know, to mind, because you know, in the Samoan culture, you always, the pride is like, your last name is everything. Your family is everything. Why would you want to speak about your family in a way to make you guys look bad? Well, I said, I'm sorry. I live a very honest life, a real life, and this is what happens in the real world that I live in. Because we live in a very real world in a very real time. So
right.
That's, you know, I think that was on episode 1 where we were talking about pride in the Samoan community. And that's one of the things that is our number one downfall and the greatest thing.
The greatest thing.
Our pride is there's good about it, and then there's can kill us.
It's like a double-edged sword. It's
Yeah, it's that thin line between love and hate. It's there it is.
It is.
That's why.
Then the patia happens, you don't know if it's gonna be the good or bad. It's the patia. Hey, patia. Oh no. Oh man, no, that's true. That's true.
So true though. Like that was kind of like how when we first started the podcast. We wanted to talk about subjects that were taboo, things that we don't talk about.
Well, let's talk about that for the viewers. This is what happened before this podcast even started. I think who was it? The first person that I wanted to talk to was you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before this podcast started, I was having ideas. I was getting in emotions, and I was like, people have to hear about this. They got to understand about financial education, because this is something that's helping me and her out, and I know this can help out people. And I know not only talking about this, but other things in life, like what we're talking about now. inspiration, motivation. So the first person I went to talk to was Mike, bro, Mike. And I told him, and this was at, his daughter's graduation. And time his graduation. Shout out to the fam. And I went to Mike because he's somebody that is also somebody I had on the list because he's, an inspiring person to me as a Samoan entrepreneur, business owner. And I said, I got to have you on, Us, because I'm doing this financial education podcast and I want to preach to our peoples, just to have a space. And he was like, bro, whatever, I'm down, man. We need that. And then I was like, fuck Isaac at? I know you in there dancing. And you were in there dancing. I was sipping on my beer outside. I was like, because the party was popping. Lou Screws was DJing. Shout out to Lou Screws. And and then we were just like, I'll talk to him when he comes out. And then you came out for a break after you did one of your performances. And you were just like, oh. And I was like, come here, let me talk to you. And remember, I told you, I said, look, would you be interested to be a guest on the podcast? Because I'm going to do this, financial education podcast for our people. And I remember you told me, he's like, you serious? Because that's so funny you mentioned that. Because me and I think you said Princess, we're just talking about, our community, about how we don't know about, finances. I remember, and I was like, that's what I'm talking about. I said, that's why I want to do this, So, fast forward to now, it's just like, I wanted not only people to, hear our story to help them, but you're the one, the main one that I can think of to get a lot of these polys out here motivated and inspired.
Especially the younger gen.
Yeah.
Anybody, just to be inspired to just look. This is somebody that's just normal, just like you and me. Been through the ups and downs, had to move 31 times. And how many years?
6 year span.
I think 6 or 7, 6 years, I think.
I had to practice without the mirror, And then next thing you know, boom, dancing with Janet Jackson. And I can go on with the list, on and on. But it's just crazy that, and that's before this podcast started. That's how it started. And then I told her, babe, let's do it. Let's start this podcast. But then you were in LA, you were moving back and forth. But we finally got you on. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you.
Zoom has blessed us with the simplicity of the internet connection.
Yes.
Because if it wasn't for that, you'd be sitting right over here,
Right.
Right.
Wine right along with you.
Because we had shouts out to Law and Soci. I think they were like our only guests that were able to come and sit down on our table because we told the first podcast, we were like, anybody wants to be a guest, come over here. We sit down and hang out. And then we had some other people like Hines. Shout out to Hines. He was like, he was about to come through with Jeff and the Keto Boy.
Then we had the COVID and
then but we're like, we're doing Zoom, so quarantine life.
Right. So tell me, how long were you in LA?
I was in LA technically for 10 years. The last 2 were on and off.
Right.
I came home, but I realized when I came home, I started to work more than when I was in LA.
Oh,
so
geez.
I was gone, always gone. But I would say 10 years.
10 years. Out of those 10 years, what was the most fun you had out of all your gigs down there?
Oh,
that's a tough one, huh?
It well, yes and no. I say no because there's gigs where I remember just doing the job and going home, like clockwork.
Yeah.
Funnest gig.
Most memorable, if you.
Or what's the craziest story that you can think of to pop in mind? Or about people you met, while you're doing your,
Oh, okay. I'll share. I don't know who to place this in the list of best or whatever, but this was like a moment I'll never forget because it came from a legend. And so we didn't mention this, but another movie I did was Jack and Jill with Adam Sandler.
Hey, okay.
Al Pacino. So at the end of the movie, that's the scene I was in. It was called Dunkachino because they were trying to say like Al Pacino, you know, they're trying to shoot this idea. What if you were owning a coffee shop? And so Adam shows him this thing with him in it. We were filming, and I at that point in my career, I was so used to being on set. Like I just was like, okay, I know how to act. I know what's going on. I know the lingo. Like I was working already. Like what? I was already like four years in the game. So I know the choreographer. Whatever. I'm not comfortable, but I'm good. And with my parts, and so you know they run the thing. Cut. Okay, reset. They set the lighting again. All right, sound speed. And action. We shoot again. So they cut in the middle, like something messes up, and then so we start again. The third time we went, they yelled cut before we were done with the whole shot, because we were trying to get just a single shot of the whole you know commercial, which was only like 3 seconds long. So they yelled cut. Al Pacino walks out. He goes, hey, he goes, what's the problem? And they were like, excuse me? They're like, what's the problem? He was like, what's the problem here? He goes, are we not all professionals on this set? And he was like, the guy was like, yes, we are. The director was like, yes, we are. He goes, I'm going to say this to you one time. You guys are professional behind the camera. Everyone on here is professional dancers and professional for this job, right? And they were like, yes. He goes, I have 3 more. You have 3 more takes with me. He goes, I don't care what cameras you need to run. You better run all of those motherfuckers, because I only have 3, and I'm going back to my trailer and I'm done. I stood there and I was like, that is such a boss move.
Yeah, Al Pacino.
He goes, you have 3 more with me. 4 shoots. He goes, catch any footage you have. He goes, because that's all you're going to have, and I'm done. I'm going back to my trailer. So they're like, reset, and this usually when they say reset, you just go back to your first position and wait for they sound speed. They check the sound, make sure there's no noise, and then action. So they're like, reset, and we were sitting there for like 5 minutes, and I know they were like trying to figure out, okay, you shoot and you shoot, because usually with how it works, you only shoot certain cameras at a time, so that you don't ever catch a camera in the shot sometimes. You know, this one might be you're on B-roll over here. There's a guy on Steadicam like running around. So they literally ran all the cameras at the same time to catch all the shots. So I was like, I hope they get it by the 3rd time. But you know, for us, we're like, hell yeah, because without him on set, there's no scene. So that means there's 3 more and we're done. We're wrapped. So I was like,
so you got to experience that, not only to see it out of his actor phase, but his real life. Al Pacino. What we talking about? Scarface. Godfather. We're talking about the man, Al Pacino. And you're there like, you better listen to the koinga.
It felt like that moment, like an elder came in and told everybody to be quiet because of local or something, and everyone had to like just shut their mouth. I was sitting there like, oh wow. Yeah.
Big ups to the Kia Kongo Al Pacino.
But you know, dancers, yo, I'll keep it real. 1,000 and dancers all around the world can attest to this. They will run us in the ground. We'll do a scene that is a minute and a half. They'll go cut, reset, and think we're ready to go right away. And I'm like, I'm always the first. I'm like, I need water. I need something to dab my face down because I'm sweating. I need air. Like, you guys have to relax. Like, thank God for choreographers and thank God for the ones that I work with, because they have our back. They'll be like, no. We need like 3 to 5 minutes. You know, 3 minutes. You know, and if we have to push the shot because of time or sunlight's coming or whatever, we understand. The choreographer will be like, look, I know you guys are tired. Just, you know, do a strong, like, go hit your marks and stuff. Or they'll tell us, for this shot, don't do the lifts, anything crazy, you know, because they already got it. So, you know, there's ways around that. But that, when he said 3 times that I'm done, we knew. I looked around, I said, we're about to get robbed hella early today.
Dude, Scarface. Say hello to my little friend. 3 takes, and that's it. I'm going to my trailer. Oh, man. Dude, I know there's hundreds more stories, man.
There's one more funny story.
Go ahead.
So when I booked Glee, it was because I worked with one of my favorite Britney dancers. Her name is Brooke Lipton. She danced with Britney for a long time, and so I booked Hannah Montana in the movie with her.
Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I booked Hannah Montana the movie with her. She was one of the girls, and then my roommate. So this is how LA works. So my roommate knew Brooke because Brooke was teaching on a convention that Sienna, the one I moved out with, she knew her from when she was like 14, 15, 16, 17. So she knew she was coming to LA. Well, Brooke had 2 kids, and so Sienna would babysit for her. You know.
Okay.
So, and I'm roommates with Sienna, so I work with Brooke, and then time goes by after we shoot the movie. She goes, hey, she texts my roommate. She goes, do you still live with that Samoan guy, Isaac? I worked with him. She was like, yeah, Isaac? He was like, yeah, we're looking for football dancers for this new TV show. And she goes, can you send his information to me? So she texted over my agency and my name. And then the next thing I knew was like, oh, they want to see. So they call check avail. Mm-hmm. They check your availability. They'll say, hey, are you available for these dates? For Glee, and then you know what? Yes,
that's why I was like, yeah, the casting, the break.
When you get checked bill, that's like, oh my gosh, I might have the job. And
because if you're in a gig or in a contract at that time, you can't book anything.
Wait, you used to model?
No.
Oh, I don't think we ever talked about that on the podcast.
I know she knows she gets that.
I'm all like laughing because I'm like, yeah, I get your lingo because it's entertainment.
So I married a model gangster.
Oh, geez. I'm from the LBC. I don't know what you're talking about.
I put the 2 and 2 together. Model and a gangster. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so you were available then when they were available.
I booked this job. No one knows what Glee is. There was no the pilot wasn't out, no promo. It was like, okay, so I'm like, I show up to Paramount Studios, and the choreographer meets me, Zach Woodley. So this Polani guy's walking towards me, and he goes, hey, he goes, are you Isaac? I said, yeah. He goes, oh, he goes, okay, nice to meet you. And so we're walking, and this is part 1. There's 2 parts. So we're walking to the and I'm like wide-eyed because I'm like, this is where they film everything. Like, so I'm like walking, and you see like the fake sets and like New York and like the downtown streets.
Yep.
And so I'm like, okay, trying to hold my cool, but no, I was screaming inside. So he's like, you know what you're doing today? And I was like, no. He goes, your agent didn't prep you with any notes? I said, no. He goes, I was like, okay, well, today we're shooting this like island scene. He goes, and we have you dancing in like a skirt. He goes, but there's just enough grass to cover your junk and maybe a little bit of your behind. He goes, are you okay with that? And I was like, sure. I was like, I'm here already. I was like, yeah. And so we take like 10 more steps. Okay, 10 more steps, and he busts out cracking.
Oh, he's
he was dying. He goes, you're not here for that. He goes, your face. He goes, the fact that you're committed. He was like, wow. He goes, anyways, I'm Zach. Nice to meet you. We have rehearsal. So we go to rehearsal. This was for single ladies. So we're learning the dance that day, and then so fast forward to the next couple of days we're shooting like probably where you saw me in the classroom with all the we're shooting that scene, and so in between shots there's like all these small little monologue moments or 2-ons. So I'm in the craft service area where all the snacks are, and it's quiet because they're like filming right behind us. Yeah. And he walks up to me and he's like, "Hey," and I'm like scared again because I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "So," he was like, "So are you a good dancer?" And I was like, what? He goes, like, are you a good dancer? And I was like, I know how to pay attention to detail. I follow instructions. Like, I would say yes, I'm a good dancer.
You gotta market yourself.
he goes, but he's like whispering because we can't talk. He was like, okay. He was like, that's good to know. He goes, because I plan on keeping you around for a while. And I was like, and so I just stood there with my food, and he was like, shh, and walked away from me. I was standing there.
What was his name again?
I was like,
What was his name again? This cat?
He's the man. I love this man. His name is Zach Woodley.
Woodley.
I was so ready to work with him because he did all the Balangi scenes. Hairspray, the movie, the new one.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, he's so good. And so I love him and Brooke. I love those two so much. They've kept me working from 2009 all the way until now. They still call me. Like for Lucifer, Brooke called me. She was like, hey,
okay.
Put on for like one day in LA, just one day, and then came back home.
Her other brother, Troy, in Hawaii, shout out to Troy Hawaii. It was we were out there in the summer, and he was a big fan of Lucifer, the TV show Lucifer that you were in, and we were telling him about it.
Yeah, we were
and
telling
he was
him
like,
about it.
I was like, yo, trust me, you got, check it out. Check out my cousin Isaac. And he's like, I love that show. That's one of my favorite shows, Lucifer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy how everything's connected,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there's stories. There's some fun. There's fun moments. There's scary moments. Like the first time I cried on set was Bring It On. I was hella mob because I couldn't fit the pants, so they had to give me red Dickies instead. For like cheer uniform.
For the cheer uniform.
I was like, too big, and so I was like crying. And so the other Millie boy who was thick, who could fit the pants, because he was smaller, because me and him look the same size, but Millie and Samoan bodies are different.
Right.
So he was like, it's okay. He goes, it's okay, my Samoan brother. He goes, I'm gonna go with you. So he put on his red Dickie shorts too.
That's what's up.
We're the only two in Dickie shorts, but I thank him for that, because I was like, that moment was so like stupid to me, but it was like where I felt so like, oh my gosh, so I crawl into my shell and cry, and I was so much with wardrobe that day.
That is what's up.
It's okay. Wardrobe malfunction happens all the time in the entertainment industry.
So going back to the beginning of the podcast, the beginning where we talked about, Auntie D, and your goal to reach that final pinnacle of dancing with the Jacksons and being part of that. Now, to us, we were like, I was more amazed when I seen your posts when you said, I can't believe this, y'all. I've made it. This was my goal to dream. Yeah, this dream was to dance with the number one idol. I've always looked up to, Janet Jackson. And when you posted that, I was like, jaw like, what? No, for real, because we all grew up with Janet. Michael, Janet, everybody, right? And I had a crush on Janet Jackson when I was little.
Of course you did.
She was my girlfriend, my big booty Melly girlfriend. Go ahead, be down. But everybody loved Janet. She was like our idol, right? And like growing up, like everything. There was that bad boys. See?
Oh yeah.
You married a bad boy. But anyways, so let's talk about how that feeling or the story leading up to you, reaching your dream of dancing with Janet Jackson. Because people, I'm gonna put the clip on the show notes, and you guys gonna watch it. Not only were you dancing, you were right next to Janet.
Right.
And we were like, hey, like the beginning scene of it. We're like, oh snaps, like yeah, So yeah, so tell us like how you got, that all the way up to that.
Okay, well, it all started when I was here home. I was in LA. I was up here, and I saw the clips. All the dancers, a lot of my friends who danced for her at the time, tour dancers, they were like, dance with Janet. You want to dance with Janet? Do you want to dance with me? And she was like, her clip came out. And there was this hashtag that said dance with Janet. And she was like, if you want to dance with me, record yourself, 30 seconds, freestyling to any of my music, doing choreography, whatever you like. And they were all like, it was cut and what I edited. And I was just looking at this clip like, and something about it just kind of like grabbed me. And I was like, this is it. Like, this is it. Like, I felt like if I didn't go after this, I was never going to like see that moment. But something literally, I think it was at Sharice's house. And I ran to the back room with my phone, and I went to this clip from like 2009, 2010, early 2010. It was right before Heavy Impact got on the show. But me and my friend CJ, shout out to CJ Sauce, my boy from Heavy Impact, we collaborated on this on Nasty. He remixed Nasty, and we did this breakdown for a piece for his group. And so there's a clip of me and him demoing the piece, and I was watching it. That's when the time where I started to like, I lost all this weight. So I loved how I looked. My movement was like great. I was like, I could see the LA like LA, what LA did to me, like the molding of LA, how it fit in that clip. And I was like, oh, I like this. So I shared it. And we're saying Dance with Janet, and I just told my story. Like, I want to, whatever, this is why, like, I started when I was young, my aunt, everything in one block. This is my dream, been all that. And so all my friends just kind of, all my friends
shared it.
They tagged it. All the ones that, that I knew that danced with her, they all were like tagging Janet, like, Janet, just we'll look at this person.
Oh, what?
And so that was love. And so I was like, okay, cool. And then
wait, hold on. You mean that you just ran to the room and just recorded your dance?
No. I ran through and I searched for the clip.
Oh, so you searched for the clip. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you posted that.
Yeah. I just shared that clip because I shared it before. And I was like, you know what? Let me just re-air this clip from
Got it.
11 or like 8, 9, at the time it was 9 years ago, 2018. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. This is the only clip footage of me dancing to Janet.
Okay.
So I uploaded it, and all the dancers for Janet were like tagging her, so I was grateful. And then they released the audition dates, and I was like, okay. But at that time, and this is where like it gets. This is okay. It's crazy, but this is where it like. We go back to, what's the word? Like being completely transparent right now with this talk, and completely honest. I was in a dark place when this was happening. Like, if I can be 100, and I don't care how people, whatever. This is something I've like lived.
You can talk about all you want. That's all we talk about on this podcast is being on the tipping point in the whole.
This job literally saved me. I was doing crazy stuff. Like, I was on drugs around this time. I was like always at bingo, speed, always at BJ's. I was like hurting family members. I was using money that I was supposed to use. Gotcha. Like, I'm being real. This is me at like my most.
Been there.
So you got a little bit of the lady luck itch. You started getting into the gambling, addiction, right?
Yeah. Well, it was yes and no. It was just me falling in line with the wrong person at the time.
Okay.
And just trying things and being experimental because in my mind, I'm like, oh, let me just try this, try that. Well, I ended up getting a little too comfy with one of the other things, like some of the things. And it led to me borrowing money. And so me borrowing money, now I'm in a deficit. So now it's like, and when you're in a hole, you're like, I'm going to try to find any way
to get right back out of it.
And so I was like, literally, like, when I'm being honest, like I hurt family at that time. I hurt like close family. So it was like a really tough time for me. So when the audition came, it was like, yay, I can go after my dream. But also at the same time, it was like, I need to get away because I'm about to get, something bad is going to happen to me if I stay up here. So I left and I was out there for like a week and a half. When I came back, everything hit the fan. Like when I came back, I could feel everything that needed to be said to me. I need to be corrected. I need to be sad. Everything I knew was going to happen happened within 2 days of me coming back from that audition. And so I went out there. Now I'll touch base about the audition, and I have to speak on this other side because it's such a contrast. But I know if I never came home to fix this, I don't think God would have ever blessed me with that job.
Hey.
I was thinking about staying in LA. I even told my friend, I was like, can I just stay here just in case I get the call? And he was like, yeah, you can stay however long you want. And usually when I go to LA, I'd be gone for like months. A month. For some reason, I was only out there for a week and a half, and I came home. The second day, I got sat down by the family, and they were just like, this is missing. We saw this is gone. What happened? And like, I just cried and told them, spilled the truth about what was going on in my life, why I was things that were going on, like connecting dots, because they were seeing a pattern for like 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
And I just was like begging for forgiveness, like telling them like this is what's going on, like just keeping it real with them. And that started the healing process, like for a lot of things up here for me, like that I got into personally that actually ended up shadowing other things that I was around. But that was the beginning of like a healing process that I'm so grateful for, because if that never took place, I don't know where I would be, or I just don't know where the relationship, how tight the bond would be, if it would be, or if I'd be running from something still. And I chose not to run. So I literally faced everything firsthand with everybody I need to talk to. And so that came to a halt.
So before reaching your all-time dream, since you were a child,
at the bottom.
you were right at the bottom.
Right.
And literally at the bottom, and meaning the bottom where it's affecting your immediate loved ones.
Yep.
And at the bottom, there was an opportunity for you to just stay there by staying in LA. But then something told you that you don't know what it was, but something told you, well, I think, no, I'm going to go back to the family, because I think if I'm going to reach this dream, I think you had that feeling in you that I need to take care of something.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what happened, right? Now, what I got from that, right, for the listeners, it's all good. Nobody's perfect. But this story is a beautiful story to listen to. And go ahead, continue. And then what happens next after you're at the bottom and the family confronts you?
So there, I like, oh my gosh. The person, okay, I'm be honest, and I don't think he would mind either, because it's the truth. The person that drove all the way over to our house was Uncle Thomas. Uncle Thomas came, and he...
Shout out. Big ups to Uncle Thomas.
I love that man. Love you, Uncle Thomas. And when he came and got me and took me for a ride to Walmart and was asking me questions, and like, I could feel it. He was penetrating, but without saying what he needed to say, he was hitting me. And you know, Uncle Thomas is like, he's just awesome. But like, so there I am. But before we got to Walmart, this is the Super Bowl right here on 348. I was like, when I tell you guys, I was like crying. My eyes were bloodshot, and I was like, like,
oh yes.
I tell you, like, I was crying because I had so much to let out. And I felt okay with letting it out to him. And I was in the car, and he went to get out, and he goes, "Oh no, you're not staying in the car. You're coming with me." So I'm crying in the store, walking, and I'm like crying. He's like, "So what else?" And he's like talking. We're shopping, and I know this was a part of the lesson. I know, because it's like, you know what I mean. I didn't question him at all. I didn't rebuttal him. I didn't try to fight him off on that. I knew that this is a part of, like, you're gonna feel this and be in public, and so you won't be publicly shamed, but you need to feel some part of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was saying, there I am telling the story. I'm seeing people who I know. Hey, Isaac, and I'm like, I look like this, and I'm like, hi. I'm like, how are you doing? Like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just like talking with my uncle. You guys, I look crazy in there, but it's okay. But that was the person who had to come and help.
Only family can do that. Only family can do that.
And that's love. That's
love.
love.
That's love. And Uncle Tom's is a soldier. He's got the armor of God on him. So he knows how to penetrate through everything. That's what seemed like he was doing. Well, he was taking that's the sword, the Holy Ghost sword, and just poking away at every bad thing that was around your body. And you're just like, it's hurting. And he's like, don't worry, this is supposed to hurt, but it's gonna kill all the the coronavirus infections all over you. And while you're walking through Walmart, everybody's like, and Uncle Tom's got the Fu Manchu white beard. He's got the all white hair, so he's like, and he's very calm. And if you're walking down the Walmart aisle, and you're just bawling right next to him, your friends are probably like, "Damn, that must be his dad," just yelling at him, scolding him at the old age.
No, it was, to feel that, I had to feel that, because I felt like, when a dog is when you fasala, or discipline a dog, or they know something's wrong. I my tail was tucked for a week at home. I didn't want to be in anyone's way, because I knew better,
And how old were you at this time? Because I want to show the listeners that no matter what age you are.
31.
You were how old? 31?
31.
So at 31, You felt like you were 13.
All over again. That number went like this. Whoop.
It went like that. When you're just bawling, I'm sorry, I did. And it's like your dad is like, or your uncle sitting there telling you, did you take the cookies out of the cookie jar?
They don't even say anything. They just look at you and you start crying.
Yeah, right? You start crying, right?
Right.
Wow.
But it was a lesson. I'm like, I'm not like, even now talking about it, I'm like, I'm happy because I'm free from it,
It's a blessing. It's a blessing, yeah.
Like, I literally can say that side of me is healed, and it's taken time to, like, even confess it or speak on it, but it's a part of this story. And so here we are. It's crazy. Mother's Day is tomorrow. So exactly 2 years ago so tomorrow's Mother's Day. So today was tomorrow. There we were setting up the table, and we're setting up the food, and my phone went off. And I looked down, and it was like, you have a new email. Check the email. And it was from my agent. It said, checking a bell for Janet Billboard Awards. And I just started crying at the table. I was like, and then they were like, hold tight. She emailed me back and said, hold tight. I sat up and I looked at my mom. I was like, I got it. And I started crying. It was silent at the table, not because no one wanted to say anything to me, but everyone knew how much, what this, like, the level, the like weight of this kind of job was for me. And so they were all silently were just like, congrats, like, we're proud of you. And I'm sitting there crying, like, just looking down. I don't even eat. I go to the room. I'm just like, literally just like crying and weep, like, just kind of
it sounds like it's not only just emotional from getting the part, but just more than that of what's happening within your own life. Yeah.
To know that like within 2 weeks prior to this, I was trying all these people. I tried all these people, and I like did wrong, to people, and the fact that they can still say that to me, that they were still proud of me, like, it was a lot. It was a lot to, like, take in, but I was so honored and so, like, oh my gosh, like, it taught me a lesson about family. I never ran from family when I was growing up, but I used to always find my refuge in friends, because being the youngest, I was always trying to be not rebellious, but I was so different. I wanted to try different things. And so when friends gave me that understanding, or that, like, balance, I ran to my friends. I would never run to family. So, like, that was another lesson. Like, you know what? You may have 1,000 friends in the world, but the blood, the people that you started with, who share the same blood of your, that you do, are always going to be there. It's forever. Whether you like it.
Now, from the beginning of the podcast, we were talking about, our faith, the church stuff, even the church video you were in. And, and to me, it's like, do you feel, being a man of faith, that this has something to do with, a higher power guiding you towards, the light before you reach that pinnacle of your dream? Or do you think, like, it was just a coincidence that all of this just happened that way, that somebody just wrote it like a story,
No, I think, I feel like everything happens. Everything is, like, ordained already. Like, everything is meant to happen the way it happens. So that's, like, it's I believe in that. You know what I mean? I'm a firm believer that everything, it is what it is. Whether we agree or disagree, like, it's meant to happen this way. Not only to us, but for us. And so I chalk it up to that.
That's all I can, like, see right now from the story, is that us growing up in the church, we preach a lot about that on the podcast too, is like, having faith and a foundation is such an important thing for anybody on this earth. No matter who you are, you got to have a faith in something good over evil, and good over bad, to help conquer and battle, all the bad shit that can happen. And from listening to your story of, you had the devil and the angel saying, nah, fuck the family, we're gonna be down here, and then we're gonna do our thing, I Hollywood. But then you had the angel saying, what to do, our faith, your upbringings, mamas, everybody, all the teachings, something that you need to take care of before, you get to that pinnacle.
Yeah.
And you did it, you did it. And, you know, being a man of faith too, myself, you know, posse, Soifua and everything, you know, and like I tell all the time, it's like, damn, without me having, you know, the word of God being the foundation,
yeah,
back me up, I don't know if I could make it through a lot of things, you know, a lot of things. And from your story, it's like, I'm hearing the same things. Like, you end up being back home, but not only you end up being back home, and you got a man of God in Uncle Thomas, you know, Reverend Thomas,
right.
but he's talking to you as his uncle. But at the
Yeah,
same time, he's got the sword just stabbing away all the bad, you know, the evil things. Like, you know, get rid of that, get rid of that. And then next thing you know, right after the Walmart bawling in tears, you're sitting at the table for, you know, for Mother's Day. You know, was it Mother's Day dinner?
it was no. This was like a week or two before
Oh,
Mother's.
yeah, so we could, but this was like somewhat after your talk with
Yeah,
uncles, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, out of nowhere, you get an email, you know? That to me is like higher beings, you know, a higher power, and, you know, which we believe in. It's
yeah,
like, you know,
yeah.
yeah, happening like that, man. So that's what's up, you know?
It's crazy because I could have easily told the story and left that all out, but I can't. There's
Can't.
something. There's something that like I'd feel so convicted leaving this podcast without speaking that truth because I don't want people to think, oh yeah, you can look at the product of my success and think, oh, this is great. No, because right behind that, you know, I fumbled and I tripped and I was face down in the ground in mud. And then God was still able, and the universe was still able and willing and merciful to give me the chance to shine again. You know,
Yeah.
in the thing that I've wanted for my whole life. You know what I mean? Like I can't even tell you guys, like when I that job, like I don't even know how to describe it. When the as soon as the at the end of our performance, as soon as that thing came down to block us, I cried. I like sobbed. From there,
After the dance, after the performance dance with Janet.
once the thing came down to block us, I cried from that moment all the way down through the backstage, through the tunnel, up the elevators, up the escalators, grabbing my wardrobe, changing in my wardrobe, still crying, coming back out, fully changed, still crying back out, and I'm bawling. Getting out the van, going into the hotel, I'm crying. Through all those slot machines to my elevator at New York hotel, crying, in the elevator crying, get to my room, I could not stop crying because I was like, thankful for so many different reasons. Thankful for the job, but then like thankful to be there, and then like thankful for family, and then just thankful to God that I was able to be forgiven from my family. Like there's so many different layers to that job for me. So not only was it my like dream job, it was like one of the biggest lessons and one of the biggest moments where I'm like, it reminds me of like everything just points back to my base. Like, you know what I mean? My family, Auntie D was the reason why I even started looking at this woman and saw her as something that I would reach for. So it started with family. So to come back and it still be something you know, it taught me a huge lesson. I could not hold myself. People thought I was like, something was wrong with me. I was like, no, I'm fine. I just said, I'm fine. And I could not stop the tears from falling the whole time. And that's a long time. That's probably like 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes of crying.
Dude, that's the pursuit of happiness moment, you know, where you just out of battling through all the stuff you've been through your whole life, you know, reaching the adulthood, getting almost there to that dream and almost grabbing and reaching it, and then you had to just dive all the way down to the bottomless pits, and you're like, what? It's right there. And then you just found some way, you know, to look up and see the light and climb out that, and then you reach that pinnacle, and then the curtain closes, and that pursuit of happiness moment, you know, with you know, Will Smith. You know, you watch that movie Pursuit of Happiness, where at the end, out of all the bad stuff, then you just boom, just he starts walking out. He got the job, and he just, you know, walking through all these people, and he just crying, just happy, just like, yeah. All right, so if you're a director out there or an upcoming director and you're watching this video and you need a story or a script, there it is right there, you know. Contact Isaac, because this needs to be put as a the next Once for Warriors level type of movie. I'm telling you guys right now, maybe we can be a part of it, like the Growin Samoan, podcast. Isaac, that is the story. That's the inspirational story that I was looking for, that everybody's been looking for, that not only your story, but damn, how many, I think there's so many people that are so talented within our community that could be there, and they're looking for someone. They're looking for someone. Now they can find you. They can find you. Our son, he loved to dance. He was loving to dance.
I know he.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That's what we're talking about.
Or while I'm here, I really do.
Yeah, and we're like, what are you talking about?
We've been dancing.
Talk about it. And then he did, and he loved it. He loved it. He spent some time going to the studios and everything, and just being on the podcast and having a space like what we talk about on here is we talk about all things life. That's what I say first of all. Even in the autos, the about section, we talk about all things life, and then everything financially, because that's what we preach about. But when you can't leave one and and the other out. You got everything as a whole. It comes together, and just having you talk about your life experiences, it can touch so many souls out there, dude. That ending of that story you just said, it was real life. It happened.
Yeah.
Nobody knew about it. I didn't know about it. I never knew about it. You did.
This is the first time, I'm not on a podcast every day, but this is like the first time I've shared that intimate.
You serious? This is the first time?
This is the first time this is the first time I ever publicly talked about, unless I've disclosed it to like my closest of friends, like maybe
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
What's been going on in my life, and the truth, because we always keep it real.
Right.
But like, I felt like when we were inching to get into the university and going back to the beginning with the dream job, there's no way I could have shared that without that part of it.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing I love about podcasts is that on a podcast you get real intimate, and then you can talk about these things through a whole. It's not little snippets of, oh, sorry, dog, we only got 15 minutes and then we gotta cut and you gotta go out. Podcast is like, especially our podcast, we're just family. So we're in quarantine, coronavirus, lockdown. So, but this story needs to be told.
And it's not even like, aside from me, taking it out of me, like, I just feel like any aspiring artist, any person who wants to be, who is looking up to anybody in life, these are the things that you need to hear, because these are the things that I feel like, removing Isaac from the story, these are the things that would make this person human again. It doesn't dehumanize them. Like when you talk about the glitz and the glamour, it's kind of like, they're in the light. But what about the other side of them? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the I feel like
what's in the background.
And when I say need, I'm not saying it's a requirement. I just think that people, when they feel right and they feel that shift or that conviction, they need to like yield to that, because I think it's key in order to like really, really get to people and really connect with people. It's a moment of, okay, I see you, I feel you, I understand. I may not be on the same level, in the same situation, but we're definitely on the same platform.
I mean, you don't have to be fake about it.
Yeah,
totally. Why?
Right. There's weirdos in the world. There's crazy kind of people in the world who live for the clout. That's the new word. That's the new term now. Oh. They live for the clout.
The likes.
The likes. And then there's people in the world who really look for sincerity, for integrity, behind the facade.
What's your intention?
Yeah, and then when they see the true person, then they're like, I love that motherfucker. That's what I'm talking about. So like, right here interviewing now, having you now on the podcast, it's a great way for the non-cuckoo heads to be like, oh, wow, this makes me even love Isaac even more. I never knew that, because now all I can picture right now is that moment you said where you're at the the Billboard Music Awards. You're dancing on the stage in front of millions and millions of viewers around the world. It's Janet Jackson. Not only was it her performance, it was the Icon Award for her. And on the stage, little do anybody know, is Isaac, the Samoan dancer, little kid who was watching you, you know, Janet, Miss Janet, as a child with your Auntie D, and nobody, you know, notices that. But now they do know. And within our community, the poly community, the Samoan community, the Growin Samoan community, you know, and they get to spread that word. They get to share that with everybody. And there's gonna be people out there that watch this, listen, and be like, they're just gonna be so touched and, you know, inspired. And they're probably gonna be the next Isaacs. Yeah. You know, that'll be like, no, you gotta understand. When I heard your story, you know, damn, man, that's why I said it needs to be heard. There's a quote from a financial guy I listen to, and he talks about this in a financial sense, but he could use it to this kind of stories. The wealthiest place on earth is a graveyard, because that's where all the talents, all the thoughts, the inventions, the dreams, they lay buried with the people, because they had fear and self-doubt, and they never strived or even tried to do the things that they thought they could never do, you know? So when you hear about your story of you got to dance with Janet Jackson, you're next to her. We're watching you. We're happy as you know, as a motherfucker watching. But we don't know what happens when the curtains close. We don't even see the curtains close. We just see, you know, everybody's and then commercial. And we're all just like, yeah, that's dope. But the story right here, like, damn, I can just envision it right now, where the curtain slowly drops and all the emotions come, and that's the shit that needs to be heard. You know, I just want to thank you, you know, for sharing. Fuck.
That job is special. And every day that I was in rehearsal with her, I was torn between, I can't believe this is Janet Jackson, and I deserve to be here. Those were my two emotions for like this. Like, oh my gosh, that's Janet. And then the other side was like, wait, you worked your ass off to get here. You deserve to be here. So I was like going through that all like, and then she knew she hired 36 of us, 36 dancers. And the first day of rehearsal, she knew everyone's name. She was walking up to us. So for her to walk up to me like, Isaac, and I'm like, wait.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It's the simple things to me. You know, I don't need the signature. I don't need the picture. It's that, like, the fact that you decided to take the time to know and learn my name. And then there was another moment in rehearsal where she had this small space in the back of the studio. Mind you, the studio's huge. Yeah. She had a small little cutoff of the curtain. And she was like, hey, Isaac. And I walked over there, and I was like, yeah. She was like, am I taking up too much space? Mind you, the space that she had created for herself was like a closet, like tiny. And I looked at her, me and my friend Amanda, who booked together, she was like, we're like, Janet, like, this is like a closet. Like, she's like, I don't want to be in you guys' way. Like, I know you guys are rehearsing. I just want to be in the way. But the fact that she called me over to come and check to see, I was like, this is crazy.
Wait, hold on. You were just having, like, simple convo with Janet Jackson.
They gave us a break, and so on break, they set up all these snacks for us, all these healthy snacks. And so we were over there drinking water, and then she called me over. She was like, hey, Isaac, come here real quick. And then there was a section in the back for her to go over it one-on-one with the choreographer assistant. And so she kept cutting the section off like this. So it was like doing this. Like, she was just worried about being in our way. Like, wait,
damn.
You are a legend, and you are this thing. You are Janet Jackson, and you have the nerve to look at us and minimize your space because you want us to have enough room to dance. How humble of you, you know what I mean? Like, how, like, I was just like, I'm going to cry again. Like, I was like, I'm going to lose myself. Like, you know, and I shared with all my friends and said, everything you can wish and hope for you know, when it comes to coming to LA, because, you know, a lot of people, you dance with a lot of these new artists, they don't give a damn about you. They don't know your name. Red Hat, can you come here? Gray Sweats, I'm sorry. Black Shoes, can you come here? Also, now I'm an article of clothing. But Janet, you took the time in all these years, the legend that you are, to learn and memorize all of our names, so that you.
Oh yeah.
And one person goes, how did you know all of our names? She goes, I handpicked you guys.
Oh, she handpicked all you guys, but not even just, oh, my agent just you'll pick them. She picked all 36. So she's like wherever she's at in Janet world, just watching you on your video, like, oh, Isaac, oh, this is, oh wow, I like Isaac. Okay, you know what?
That's my name. But on the first day of rehearsal, you walk in and you know everyone's okay. That's a true legend, and like that to me is like ideal LA, ideal Hollywood, ideal what as dancers, what people aspire to work with is that kind of legendary, like not attitude, but like persona. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One that is legendary and iconic, but still very humble and hardworking. You know, it's like whoa, because I work with some people and I'm like, I'm sorry, no one knows you, but you're treating me like I'm like,
right.
What's your name again? I don't even know your name, but you're okay.
I have problems like even remembering names when I'm doing the prayer. I'd be like, and God bless. I'm talking about just immediate family members. And for her to have memory like that over 36 people she just, you know, never even met, but just like, you know, dang, that's what you call a true professional right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me anyone, son.
And she's very hands-on. Sorry, I want to just add a little bit more to that story.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
She so the
Thanks,
the designer wardrobe came in, and he dressed everyone. Janet wasn't there, but he dressed all of us. Cheers.
Hey, cheers.
Excuse me. So he dresses all of us. She comes in and she was like, what is this?
Oh, what?
She was like, what is this? And he goes, oh, you know, one of her good friends. She's like, oh, I just, you know, you weren't here, so I just kind of went ahead. And she, in her calm, soft voice, she was like, bless you. I told you. She was like, I want to be a part of the process. I need to be a part of the process because there's a certain way I want to see things too. She goes, thank you, but I'm going to have to redo some of these looks. So she lines us all up. All of us, she's like, stand in the straight line. And she's like going down. She goes, so the ones who are okay, she moves to the side. You guys are okay. I don't mind that. But the other, like, there was like 25 of us. She was like, I'm going to go one-on-one with you guys and fix your outfits. So there she was in wardrobe talking with us. So where are you from?
Wow.
Like, stop putting on this. I don't like that. Try these glasses. Try this. Like, personally. So it took like another 2.5 hours. And so because she missed out on 2.5 hours of rehearsal, she wanted to add 2 more hours at the end of rehearsal. So she was so scared to ask us. So Gil, the choreographer, love you, Gil, from Hawaii.
Hey.
Yeah, he was like, so Janet, is she shy? She wants to know if you guys don't mind if we can extend rehearsal. She's gonna buy us a late dinner for everybody, and we were like, what? Like, of course we're gonna extend for her,
right?
Because she wanted to feel comfortable with the piece. So we had a late rehearsal, and she bought all this pizza for us, this salad. And we were like, just looking at her like, she kept saying, I'm so sorry. I know it's late. She was, I just want to get this in my body with you guys so we can all look good together. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was up if you asked me to.
Oh man, you're like, we can extend it for another 2 hours if you want. I mean, this is our dream. We're with you. Yeah, that's crazy.
And I shared just to speak more towards her character and how beautiful like it was to experience that from someone who's been around so long. You know what I mean? You would think you would receive that like that Hollywood like attitude or that like, you know, that like sharp like diva. Yeah. No, she was. I mean, I'm sure she has her moments, but she was very kind with us and very like loving.
She's Janet Jackson, you know. This generator, they probably you probably compare it to like this Beyonce of today, right?
Yeah.
So, because obviously, if you're gonna put them at the time, like Tina Turner or whatever, then Aretha or stuff like that, if you want to put them in order. Actually, what's her name? She used to sing with Michael. Diana Ross. Diana Ross. Then I'll go Janet, and then like Beyonce. I don't know about now, like today now. I wouldn't put Doja Cat.
I know we're all like,
I'm like, I have no names to offer. I'm sorry, and I know the now.
Still in the 90s. I am the wrong person to ask.
I know. If you ask me to play music, I'm playing. My first song I would play is Jade. Don't Walk Away. I'm in the 90s too.
Right, I'm in the 90s. Or if I'm in the 90s, I'm in island music. I'm listening.
We were talking about that earlier. Me and my brother James's wife Samantha.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about music that's our family plays. She goes, "You guys really like R&B, the 90s, oldies?" I go, "Yeah, it kind of goes oldies, and then we go to the 90s, and then we go to like just cuts from back in the day, and then we'll bleed into island reggae."
Island reggae.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the barbecue music right there.
And then we start to drink. You get some drink in your system. It's all old school stuff. I hate it. I fell in line with that. I like Samoan music now when I'm drunk.
Yeah. I noticed that like Dommy now too. Like Dommy when he's Dommy's our second oldest son. When he's in the bath, when he's showering, I hear Samoan music playing, and I'm just like, okay, do I have some music playing? Like I think I have it on somewhere because I'm the only one who listens to it. It's coming from the bathroom, and it's him, and he's singing in the shower.
So annoying.
Man, the music is just. I mean, music is just. It's just like it's a time machine, When you listen to music, me as a DJ, like I can go to different genres with oldies, reggae, R&B, 90s R&B, even to the Samoan music, church gospel music. Oh, what's a shout out to Cousin Jazz? She put out that the video, a Facebook post of the CLC music, CLC choir, youth choir, and it took me back to like our days when we were growing up in the sold out ministries.
Yeah,
those the choir songs, but it is a time machine. It's a time machine, right? Like,
it's the best time machine.
Yeah, it brings back all the real good memories. A lot of good memories.
I think of like you. I think of music. To me, it reflects my mood. I don't listen to the same thing every day. I listen to pop one day if I'm in my pop phase, or I'm into country, or I just want to chill and drink some wine and cook, and I'm in reggae, or it's the way to. It's a good way to reflect. If I'm playing like heavy metal, I'm angry.
Oh, I grew up on some grunge music too, living up here.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, for straight up with all the white boy homies, man, all that grunge music.
Oh, I'm so great. I'm grateful for that. Like people are like, "What?" I'm like, "You don't understand. Like, there's such a beauty to it too. Like, grunge is like I love, and it comes from us. Like, this is the birthplace of that music. Like,
it was a fashion.
Yeah.
It was a fashion in growing up.
It's still like us.
I can listen. I still actually, even before we moved up here to Seattle, I remember me and my sister Jay, we were in San Francisco, and Nirvana was like one of the number one songs on MTV. And I remember we were in our living room in Frisco, and she was like, "I like this song." And I was like, "What is that?" And then we're like, "Oh, okay." And, and then we're like, "Yeah." Then we were like, "Oh, they're jumping around." We're like jumping around.
Yeah.
And then we moved up here. It's like, "Oh, okay, now I know what this is."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's what Seattle was known for. Nirvana, right? And that's why I would crack up because where we grew up in LA, well, if you're like LA, like Long Beach, Orange County, I was No Doubt. Yeah. I was all about No Doubt. That's kind of so
No Doubt came out.
That was when we were walking through the spiderwebs or whatever.
And then but most of the time.
So and that was just what we were growing up in at that time, you know, Blink 182, Limp Bizkit, you know, like that kind of, I mean,
so
Santeria was like.
What's, like, if I were to put in my perspective of genre of music, I grew up off oldies and reggae. You know, of course, hip hop is always going to be a part of it because it was always there. And then, you know, but in the Samoan music, the old school Samoan music from, you know, the elders. What was your music growing up on? Like you grew up to, like your number ones in your list, your top 3 genres.
For me, it was hip hop, R&B.
First?
Yes. Wait, hold on.
Like your love for music.
Yeah.
Cause
R&B.
R&B. Okay. Number 1. Okay.
I think it goes oldies second,
Mm-hmm.
and then it goes hip hop third.
Yeah.
Because I think I rock with R&B because of all the flow, the lyrics, you know, lyricism, and that love undertone that all of them sing about. And then I say oldie second because I feel like that was the prequel to R&B. You know, it kind of gave birth to R&B. They found creative ways to switch up the, you know, music. And then I say hip hop last because of dancing. Like, I think it's in that order. And I think that's weird. Now that I'm glad you asked me that because that really says a lot about my character.
Oh yeah,
like,
really.
Like R&B, like that be my forefront. That's like I like to speak a lot and be very detailed with how I say things. And then oldies to me is all feeling. It's all about emotion. Like all emotion.
Stylistics, OJs. You talking about Commodores. Manhattans, and that it's funny because, like, that's one thing that, you know, it can relate to everybody is music. You know, music always brings a good thing into everybody's lives. Like there's a tip for people out there: when you're down and out, pop in your favorite music. Just listen. You're good. In the morning, if you want to listen to good music on your way to work, throw some good music on. I was raised on like oldies first because just the whole. I think because I was around that generation, all the elders, you know, right above me, that ska they kept playing, and then right after that was reggae. You know, it's funny I mentioned that because I'm wearing my little Rasta shirt right here. But yeah, now I'm talking about like Bob Marley, you know, the Mikey Dread. You know, it was kind of like Bay Area, you know, from reggae that everybody listens to around there. UB40, you know.
I love that you said Bay Area reggae because you guys listen to some different reggae from other people, like Seattle or even like Coast reggae. They don't listen to the same artists as like Bay Area. Because like I remember like playing a song that I remember like Mike brought with him from California, or Knock brought up here from the Bay.
Yeah.
And like I played it in LA and they were like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "You guys don't bump this?" They're like, we don't, not this kind. Like I don't know. It's really interesting.
Yeah. It's
LA and Bay don't.
Yeah, they're a little
music
different.
Styles are
their music
different.
style is very different. But yeah, because what my roots of the reggae and oldies it came from the Bay, you know, and that's why I say that, because, you know, that's something that started me off. Then as I got older, I moved out here. Then they came in.
Sorry, I just yawned. My bad.
Oh, don't even worry about it. I mean,
it's okay. I think
we've had podcasts where we were like on like 3 in the morning.
We're like, we've even had podcasts where we got hungry and all of us were like eating, like we were snacking, like we just smoked a blunt and got the munchies.
But so who's I'm gonna ask a couple questions. You know, while we're on it, who is your favorite like artist, musical artist? Actually, let me call this like let's start something new. You know, let's call this the quick questions. All right. So if I name a question, you just shoot it out there real quick. All right.
Okay.
Favorite R&B song.
Keith Sweat. I'll give all my love to you.
Favorite '90s movie. Favorite '90s teen movie.
Teen movie? 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay. Favorite gospel song?
Ooh. You Are by Kirk Franklin and the Family.
Okay. Favorite 90s TV show?
Oh gosh, there's too many. I would say Power Rangers because of how it made me feel, like morphing.
Favorite 90s cartoon?
Oh, Sailor Moon. Oh, Sailor Moon and Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies and Sailor Moon.
Favorite candy bar?
Snickers.
Favorite Samoan food?
Oh my gosh, Posse.
Favorite food?
Pasta. Italian food. Pasta.
Italian food. Okay. And your favorite quote of all time?
Oh, I'm sorry. I went straight to scriptures.
Hey, if it's that, it's that.
Quote, yeah. Most of them scriptures are quotes.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be my scripture for life. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge him in all your ways and he shall direct your path.
Dang, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's the first time we ever did those bullet questions.
Yeah. First time.
I don't even know where that came from. I was just throwing that out there. But you answered them pretty good, especially the last one.
We're just going with the flow.
I'm like, damn, I'm a Fife House kid. I don't even remember Proverbs 3, 4, 5, and 6.
I'm trying to find a cool way to get that on my body. Just the Proverbs 3, 6. I'm trying to find a cool way to.
Trying to find a body part that you want to stick
And what's that you got right there? Your tattoo right there.
Oh my gosh! Thank you for asking. So,
okay, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, because that's the count. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Represent.
I don't want to put like dancer or ballet feet or something. So I put in Samoan because I want to let people know, like, I'm not just a dancer. I'm a Samoan dancer. So this is how you would count in Samoan.
Viewers, you got to only hear live right here on the Growin Samoan podcast.
I know, I was already at
Every time you see Isaac now in the future, and you'll know, you can explain to your family, oh, I know what that says on his arm, and I know what it means. The only because right here.
I forgot. I always forget about my tattoos.
I know the feeling.
No, like, I'm like, what's on your arm? And I'm like, oh, wow, there's a tattoo there. I was drunk when I got this in Hollywood. We were out at a hookah bar, and I knew I wanted to get this eventually, but we were drunk, and my friend was like, that's when YOLO was big. YOLO, when Drake came out with the motto. Mm-hmm. Well, still, she was like, YOLO, get this tattoo. Here's the irony of this whole story. So there we are on Hollywood Boulevard, drunk, stumbling, like it's a movie, stumbling, like, oh my gosh, the tattoo parlor, of course, is open. And so I stumble in there and I'm like, can I get a tattoo? And the guy turns around to give me a tattoo. It's Samoan.
What? Hey.
I was like, oh, what's up? He goes, what you want? I said, it's going to sound corny to you probably. I said, but I need it like old school typewriter font. Lima Ono Tuvalu with a period after every number. He was like, why that? I go, it's dancing, 5, 6, 7, 8, but it's Samoan. He goes, that's actually kind of dope. He goes, I just got my new Sumo Abe black ink. He goes, do you want to try it? I said, hell yeah. So there I was. I had my arm like this.
And you got it from another Uso?
Yeah, it was from another Samoan.
Hey.
That's crazy.
It's one of those things where I'm like, you know what? Universe, you know what you were doing. Mm-hmm. Like, it was like,
The universe didn't know what the hell they were doing when I got my right here. Because I was drunk too. I think we were just at a party on Stockton, California.
Roman.
And one of the big cutties, he had I'm talking about needle, old school needle, ink, and thread. And he's like, what you want? I said, I want the H. And it was supposed to go all the way down with the H-E-N and the dog on this side. And then we ended up with the H. And I was like, just the universe was in alignment right for me, and I left it. And I left it there for a reminder. So every time someone comes by, like, hey, dog, what's that? What is that?
I'm getting this. It's funny because both of you guys got tattoos when y'all were drunk.
Right.
I was scared shitless to get a tattoo.
Yeah,
and
but
I got mine sober.
But they actually, you can actually read his. See, they don't. And you know, everybody's like, "Why don't you cover that up with a sleeve?" I said, "Man, yeah, you know, sooner or later I'll get there." You know,
he's like, $500 for what?
You know, that's the real reason why. But it'll come. So one of the homies, the viewers, will be like, I'll hook you up, man. I'll hook you up with that." But I do have another.
They're gonna be like, "Hey, yo, let me get on your podcast, and I got your sleeve. Watch out."
Hey, there you go. I got the star too right here. I did that myself too. The same night I did that, I said, "Man, give me the damn needle, man," because it's a family thing. It's like my dad had one. He did it when he was young in Samoa. They like did it old school way. I don't know if they use the thingy, but you know, and my uncles have it too. You know, on my dad's side. So you know, I was like, you know, I'm gonna do something for my pops. So I got that. And those are only two. And then she just got hers done and professionally colored up and everything in Hawaii.
Yeah, when we went to Hawaii last year.
But,
I was scared. Well, him and Pat didn't help. You know, Fat Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did not help. They were not helping. They were like, "Yeah, it's gonna hurt. Well, yeah, it's a little painful." Right? I said, "You guys suck."
we were just outside smoking. We're just like going back and forth, enjoying the view in downtown in Waikiki. You know, it was lovely. But you know, at least like I said, at least they can read yours. And for all the viewers, you guys know what that means. You know, especially if you want to pursue a dancing career. You know, big ups to you, Isaac. And man, everybody that's searching or that wants to do something in their lives and be creative and grab their dream and reach for their dream. Yeah, that's what we like to preach on this podcast is don't let your fear or self-doubt stop you from your dreams. You know, like I said in that quote, the wealthiest place on earth is the graveyard, because all those people, they just didn't pursue it. They just, whatever it was, it could have been anything. They just didn't. But for you, you know, my lovely cousin over here as an inspirational speaker, to put out your story, you know, it's possible for everybody, for all the listeners. So damn, we can go on and on and on and on, and we will too. Like, man, this is the first
guys. There's so much more to come. I have like, not that it all came through the quarantine. There's been ideas and visions that God has given me for years. Like even when I was in LA, I have this new one that I'm gonna start tackling while I'm in the quarantine. So I'll drop that seed now and manifest that now with you guys on this podcast.
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it. Go ahead.
Just to kind of give you guys the inkling of what's to come. So I'm gonna start writing a 3-part book, a trilogy. And it's definitely something that I can see going to the box office, like a movie.
Hey.
It plays off of not the same concept as like a Harry Potter or like a Divergent, or it has the effect of a 3-part situation. Harry Potter had 7, but that's different. But like it has like it's gonna have 3 books.
So kind of like Lord of the Rings.
Oh, are you a nerd too? Yeah. Are you a nerd too?
Huh?
Are you a nerd too? Like Harry Potter and all that?
Yeah.
No.
Because I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd too in some form. That's why I said like.
People don't realize, or I don't share that part. I've been like since kindergarten. Like I'm not joking. Yeah. Since kindergarten, I was considered highly capable. So they were trying to skip like 2 grades when I was younger. So I've always been like ahead. AP classes, honors, and like I remember that was another thing with high school. Like, oh my gosh, I'm like everyone's like, why are you with all these? You know, they're called squares. You know, why are you? With I'm like, those are my friends that I have class with them, and they're like, what? I'm like, they're like, why don't you have classes with me? And I'm like, I've had the same classes with them since Chinook. Like, so when I got to Tai, just to add on, I literally threw everything out the window. I was like, my path or career path, you know, how they try to set you up for college.
Mm-hmm.
Educational path or whatever. Yeah.
I was like,
thank God.
We were around so much my freshman year, my credits were so fucked anyway. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give me basic science. give me basic algebra. Meanwhile, I had algebra in the 6th grade. So I was like, as a sophomore, I'm doing algebra again, like, okay, I just need the credit. Junior, whatever. But yeah, I would say there's a part of me that is a nerd.
Oh, same here. Big time nerd. People don't know that about me, but I'm a big time nerd too. Shoot.
So I'm like slowly building my like. I know what the book's about and everything, and I know I have I have such a great feeling about this. But that's on my list. Like, but prior to moving back to LA, or before I move back to LA, like while I'm here in this quarantine time, I'm just gonna be typing away and getting my rough drafts and building my characters and like yes.
Well, I love to read.
Oh my!
I know I read.
Can I email you and can we go back and forth and can I get your feedback?
Yeah, of course. I love to read. I do not leave without having at least 5 or more books downloaded on my Overdrive app.
I love it. Thank you for saying that. Like, I love that I'm able to rally with someone.
Yeah, no, and and you can ask all the family. They always know. I used to, before the whole digital books, I would carry a book in my purse. They would see me. I'm like, what?
90% of those books are all nasty books.
Really? Oh my gosh, I love romance novels. It's definitely my first genre. But I also do mystery. I love historical. She reads
everything. She reads everything.
Yeah, so he just doesn't like my one.
But still, 90% are all. What's that?
Oh,
no, I shared this on. Sorry, I'm just sharing. Plug. This is my homegirl. Her name is Natalie Gilmore. She's from Seattle too. Okay. And this is from her dream job.
Go ahead, so, plug away. What's the name of that book?
This is called Night Rights. By Natalie Gilmore.
Okay.
She's from Seattle as well. Dancer. Hey. So when she
that's a very interesting cover though.
I do like that.
Because
Night Rights. Okay.
Cover right here.
Yeah, I said that's a very interesting cover because it's like it's just a picture.
It's exactly what her title
what she
is.
wanted. Yeah.
Well, it's like a night, and it's the start. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's my really good friend from Seattle. She was on Breed when I brought up Breed earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No.
I made Breed with her. We both made the company together. Well, she booked her dream job, and it took her hold on.
It's all in the book?
No, well, while she was on tour. So she waited, I think, 10 years or 9 to 10 years, and she finally booked her tour. She went on tour with Dancing with Justin Timberlake.
Hey.
And I think she booked, that Student 2020?
Yeah.
Student Era, that's what she booked. But every night, wherever she was, like it'll show she's in Phoenix, Arizona, and then she's in Texas, Memphis, Glasgow, United Kingdom, Sweden.
It's kind of like a journal that she kept with her experiences.
Yep.
That's something that I thought about doing too, like do a book, like a Growin Samoan book. And I had a little bit of inspiration, but then I veered off to podcasts. Because to me, like podcast to me is like a book. You can like the pages are in hours of audio, and it's real life talk story. It's like an audio biography book.
It's an audible
podcast.
So he doesn't read.
Yeah, I don't read.
My husband doesn't read.
I can read this in the back. It says Growin Samoan.
He likes to. He's one of those that likes to listen to Audible.
Yeah, I can.
A lot of books nowadays in digital formats are ebooks or Audible books. Yeah. So even if you did both, he won't read it, but he'll listen to it.
I'll listen the hell out of it. But when you do get that book published, you best believe we're about to do another podcast about it.
Yes.
Shoot.
It's crazy because I have the way God and the universe works. Like when I was home here, I worked at a coffee shop downtown in Belltown for like maybe 9 months, 10 months. But I met people who some people they know publishers. Mm-hmm. One of my coworkers is an artist. Like she likes to do little artwork, and I follow on Instagram. So I'm just thinking of ways to just all my worlds colliding, on a project.
Yeah.
It's another great way to make side hustle and good money while you're in quarantine.
Yep. So these books, I'm just gonna pour all my ideas and my crazy ways of thinking into this book because I love writing.
So I will tell you this, and he knows it because it's what I do. So I do book reviews. I get paid to review books.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was just like on one of those things. Remember how like about side hustles that you can do to make, and so I went and looked and I found this one. So I think I just finished my 8th book.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's all different genres. I think one of them was like was called The Biblical Clock, which is nothing to do about the Bible. It's just like the kind of the way of
another
the life.
nasty book.
No.
Oh, okay, sorry. That's a bad title for something like that too.
No, it's just they're different genres. So I'll get like something that's like fiction, or I'll get a nonfiction, or things like that. But it's like, okay, it's totally out of my comfort zone because it's not my genre. But
because we know what your genre is.
My husband won't let it go. I think he's jealous of my book.
I'm just joking.
No, he's not. Because I'd rather read my book.
You guys have so much in common. It's like funny how everything just works.
But yeah, I love to read. It's actually my number one hobby.
Okay.
Where he wants to go out, or go play, do outdoor stuff. I'd rather be laying in the reading.
Cool. That's what I like to do.
Yeah. But I do love to read, so I have no problem. I can't wait because I'm excited to do it.
Yeah. So, Go ahead, Isaac. Tell us more about your book, and then what you got plans.
Well, the book is like kind of at the top of my list.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from this space that I'm in, this room my room over here at the house, I'm like slowly but surely turning it into more of a lounge. This is like a sectional that turns to a sofa. I threw everything out last week. My bed, all the dressers, anything that was in here, do it all. I was just like, I need to create a space that I'm able to sleep in. So that's why I did a sectional with the sofa. So we turn So I'm gutting. I have a project so I can do this book. Gutting out the closet, taking out the door, turning it into an office space with a table and a seat. I have a projector coming instead of TV. Like, I don't want to be glued to a TV screen. I have a projector so I can connect my phone or anything. Any business I need to do, it'll be on the projector from now on the wall. So just painting this wall, jungle green tomorrow, and like organizing my space so that it's setting myself up for a business type of mindset again. Like my room, I don't want my room to be, when I come here, I want to sleep. Okay.
So not only just meant for like your book writing, but also other things you have. Okay.
It's like situation quarantine and extended. Well, the space that I'm in, that's mine. I want to make sure that it's versatile and it allows me to think and prepare for LA as well. Like all the stuff I need to get ready for LA, maybe pay my dues with the union, check emails, check my status, budget. All I want to get my vision board up, so I can see what I'm aiming towards this year. Create it just needs to be that thing. So that I'm prepping so that I can be productive and
Speaking of quarantine, it's like so we can see your upper half, the bottom half. Are you wearing any pants, or are you just? Because lately they've been catching the people, the business suits with the ties, and they stand up and they're wearing boxers and underwear.
Like women with like just like a dress with like
nothing on.
Oh my god!
Quarantine's got us going in a crazy world right now. It's crazy.
I know.
We're properly dressed. we're properly dressed too. Damn it.
But if you want to take it off on this podcast, I mean, we don't care. We can do whatever you want. That's how we keep you here on the Growin Samoan podcast.
You guys are the best. That'll bring a whole nother definition to your name.
We're gonna have a whole different crowd of subscribers.
Wait, so who's? You guys are gonna have requests. Can you guys interview this person? Oh my god!
Right.
Yeah, the book is like the most like, oh my gosh, like breath of fresh air that I felt in a long time, and it's my lungs feel like I have glitter inside. Like, oh my gosh, like I can't wait to take on this project and build these characters and find a setting and like, you know, just everything about the book, like of a book. I know what's happening. I know the main thing, and I know what happens that's gonna like flip everyone's minds. It's just now building everything to get there and get out, and then also leaving room for other stuff to happen in the next book and the following book.
Yeah, well, because you got to brainstorm your ideas. You need to know your plots. You need to know your characters, your plots, your what the resolution is. Yeah, like there's
I know that's what's like. My friend was like, "Bro, like you're not gonna be able to stop at 3." And I was like, "I know." He goes, "I know your brain. You're gonna want to do. You're gonna need to do like 5." Because I was thinking like, what would you do with it? And I go, well, I kind of want to do like a prequel book. You know, this book and the next book comes out is actually what happens before the book. You know, like.
Well, what is it? Is it like more into sci-fi? Fantasy?
Like
is it what?
The genre? Fantasy, sci-fi?
No, I wouldn't say. What would you? Do you think Harry Potter leans into what, more folklore, whimsical?
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
Yeah. Fantasy.
Yeah, it's more fantasy.
Yeah, it's more. There's a hint of fantasy in there because of what happens in the
Game of Thrones-ish kind of.
Huh?
Like Game of Thrones-ish?
No, it's more current. It's like more current.
So like a modern fantasy.
A modern fantasy.
Twilight, kind of.
No, that's like.
Normal.
You can tell I'm not a book guy. I'm just. I'm lost.
Who is it?
On Twilight or?
No, the characters that are building these people around.
Yeah.
They're like people from the family. Like you know.
Oh, okay.
I've been watching these like I've been watching Tyler and Diamond, and then I've been paying attention to Shalani, Kanai, and I've been like Tina and Princess.
Yeah, you're just taking their personalities. You're using their personas to build your character.
Big shout outs to the nephews
and
nieces.
You
guys don't know it, but you're in this. You guys are the character.
I told them I was like, you guys. I was like, I'm gonna use you guys for my book. Shalani was like, wait, what do you mean? I go, like I'm like you're
As
gonna
characters.
Be a character in my book, and she goes, wait, hold on. I said, no, you're. I'm like taking things from you to like build these people, you know? And she was like, that's cool. She goes, so when I read the book, I'm going to be pretty much like, your ideas, I'm this person. I said, you don't know who your character is. But like.
That's tight.
You should just tell them it's like the we. Your me character, that's what I'm.
Right? That's kind of what I'm planting in here.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it's, I'm excited to like, I'm just excited to like write again, you know. What reminds me, what actually fuels me to write. My favorite subject was English, math, of course, but English was a close second because there was this one time I had to do a report on Stalin.
Okay, yeah,
you know,
I know that name. I know that.
Yeah, I know all about Stalin. World War II.
Yeah, and,
Russia,
and so I had to do a report on him, and like I only had the day. Like I was so late, I only had that school day, so I literally skipped first through third and got excused. And I went to the career center at Tai and was typing. So I typed my first draft before lunch. Went in, she graded it, and gave me like a C+. Brought it back, did the edit for the end of the day, turned it in, and she gave me an A+. And she saved, to this day, my teacher saves this essay because she still can't believe that I did that work in one day. Like,
wow.
And though she was like, your description, your she was like the way to visualize everything on my words. She was like,
it's living. The writing is coming to life off of you. Yeah.
She was like, your words are like 3D on this paper to me. Yeah. And I was like, oh, thank you. And she goes, you have a crazy, she said crazy first. And she goes, no, I don't want to say crazy. I don't want to speak that over you. She goes, you have a brilliant mind. Mm-hmm. She goes, I hope that you write sometime in your life. She goes, and she was one of those like, not crazy, but like those kind of like
good teachers. Yeah, a good teacher, right? Yeah. She's like a good teacher.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get the best out of her students.
Yeah. She was like, I don't know when.
When she sees potential. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I always reference that moment. And I saved that essay for a long time and then clearly lost it from moving around everywhere. But I think about that, the fact that I have that skill and that power to create like that. So
you're a brilliant mind, you know. Like for me, like I would think myself as an innovator, but people will call it a cheater. Because in English, when they said, I need you to make a summary of this book, I wouldn't do any reading. I'll flip it over.
The back.
On the back. I'll copy what's ever on the back about the book and just switch up some words. And then probably just add extra sentences in there to make it look
right.
I'm a person, the reason why I read the back of the book is because I want to know what the story is about.
Yeah.
That's why I do it.
I'll just say that's how I am. Like I was trying to find shortcuts. You know, I know that's the wrong way to do it, but I looked and it's like, oh, it explains the whole book in one paragraph. Oh, that's what the teacher wants.
You take that and stretch it into like a 2-page essay.
But you know, for people like you and Tala, you know, you guys, you know, actually do the work. I'm sorry, that's just how I am. My bad.
Yeah, that's the only reason I love reading the insert of a book or the back of the book is because I want to know what this book is
about.
Well,
her and Anna from the last podcast, they were clowning on men because they were saying like, we just need the picture books.
yeah, you know, the comic books.
And we do. That's what I do. I read comics.
I stand with you guys.
I know. Okay, so moving on. So, you know, like I was gonna ask you this question, but obviously we talked about it. Was your tipping point? Now we know what your tipping point was. You know, about you being in the bottom pit, and you telling us about that story. Getting out of that pit, what can you tell other listeners a tip that you can give them out there to, you know, help them get out of any pit that they're in? What's a motivational tip that you can give people out there listening or watching the video?
Oh, it sounds so typical to say this, but it's the one first thing that comes to mind. Like the sun rises and it sets every day. Every day. Meaning, whenever we see the sun rise, it's another chance to be great. It's another chance to turn a page, turn a new leaf. It's another chance to be better. You know what I mean? So people can see, and I had to preface it with the cliche thing because it's so easily thrown around. But I mean, like for me, I see that as like a new opportunity. Like, you know what? Yesterday I probably was the fucking worst asshole in this world. But you know what? God has given me another day to see the sun again. So there's another chance. There's another ray of hope. There's another opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, to like see something different, to hopefully hit a 180, you know? And it's like it's such a simple saying, but I was just telling Samantha earlier before I came and called Henry. I was telling her, she was just telling me, you know, so how do you feel, you know, because I'm on this fasting thing right now, this diet that I'm on. And I was like, I feel good. You know, I was like, being back home, every moment, I was like, even this moment with you on this balcony, I was like, I'm taking it all in because I know I'm.
What happened?
Hold on.
Oh, right there.
Oh, okay. Let's get back in. Admit it. And let's get back in here.
Okay, hang on.
I'm still recording.
Okay, cool. See.
Okay, yeah. No, I was just saying, like,
okay. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just sharing, like, with her, like, you know, but I make the choice every morning to remind myself to be present, to try harder today or try to be better than yesterday. Yeah. Or if your was great, you know, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, just kind of roll with the punches for the new day. But right. I'm consciously reminding myself that it's the page has already been turned. So I'm not about to try to erase what's already, because it's already written in ink.
Yes.
Start with a new moment and move forward. So anyone that's going through anything, facing adversity, if life is giving you hardships, then that would be my like genuine, on the spot, in the moment advice to you.
I love that. I love that. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Because you know, I went a little deep on the last podcast. It was a solo podcast because she was with her mom, spending some time, and then what we're hearing a lot about is domestic violence, suicide going on right now through the COVID, you know, quarantine stuff. A lot of, you know, depression, anxiety, and then, you know, spousal abuse, child abuse, domestic violence abuse, and things like that, motivation and inspiration of, you know, what your quote was of the sun sets and rises. What, say that again?
The sunset and rises every day.
Yeah. And listening to that, I wish I knew that, like back then, and had somebody reminded me every day on a daily basis, like, hey, don't worry about that shit. They were clowning on you on your clothes, you know, like back in school. Who cares? Tomorrow's gonna be a brighter day. Yeah. After that, the next year will be a brighter day. 5 years from then, it'll be a better day. Even 10 years from then, you'll be an adult and you'll laugh. You'll look and you'll laugh at everything back then. But that hits home so much because last podcast, I mean, I put it out there on the world. You talk about to being real. Yeah, I put it out there. I was like, I was depressed when I was young, 19 out of high school, and family things going, everything's going, you know, crazy, nuts, cuckoo, you know, to the point I put the sawed-off shotgun in the barrel of my mouth, ready to pull the trigger. You know, I got to that point where I was like, things were happening, and it just stressed out, you know, level of depression. But what I said was, I seen the light at the end of the tunnel because of all the good things that happened in my life. I could hear my dad's words, you know, the little things, even though I was just going crazy, right? So if someone could just tell me, you know, back then or on a daily basis, hey, don't worry, you know, that quote you say, you know, sun sets and rises and sets in the, you know, every day, then it'll be easier, you know, for people to just be like, yeah, I ain't worried about it. You know, I'm good. You know, it's real deep and real true what we talk about on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. I really
and I love it too.
So all you listeners out there, you know, whether you're young or old, it don't matter what age you are. Tomorrow's another day.
Yes.
You know, tomorrow's another day. And the thing I love about that is that everything takes time, right, babe? We always talk about that, is that everything takes time to heal. When you can be angry at somebody so much,
right?
Then you think you can get over it.
So in a funny way,
in like seconds, like no.
How you said, you can be the worst asshole today,
time.
And then tomorrow you want to do 180. Okay, so you got to remember that, okay, honey?
but big shout out.
So when you're being a jerk today, you better remember that it's gonna rise tomorrow. He always gives me shit, so that's why I always crack up. I'm like, you know.
But I love you.
I know. That's why this is so raw and real. Don't fake the front.
Well, honey, you're so beautiful.
I know. You're so alive. Falaka.
This is a funny thing that I heard a quote, requote from Uso. He's also a podcaster. Shout outs to him and on Twitter at Argent Bear King, Helvivir Theodore, but also from Coco Alesa podcast. And he said it to the other Us one time. He said, I might butcher it, but he was like, if you go out in the day and you look at one guy and you're like, damn, that guy's an asshole, you know, and then the rest of everybody else is fine, and you're like, okay, yeah, cool. And then the next day you go out, and then all of a sudden that day you look and everybody that day is an asshole, like, that guy's an asshole, man, how's that guy's an asshole? That's an asshole. If that day is, you know, comes where you're looking at everybody like they're an asshole, then maybe you're the asshole. I kind of butchered it. I don't know, but you kind of get it. Like, if you go out one day and you think, you know, say one day that guy's an asshole, but if you go out and you think everybody's an asshole that day, then maybe you got to step back and look back at yourself, because you might be the asshole. You might be the
asshole that's making,
So, you know, that might, you know, because she called me an asshole.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I was using what Isaac said.
Look,
you know, that you could be an ass.
Well, I'm a guy. You got to put it in the picture format so I can read it.
Oh, we don't want that format. I don't know if we want that book.
Right. If it's got pictures, he wants that book.
Yeah. Why? It's not wrong with that.
What? I have
Human
Isaac that we can clown on you. I have to make it.
Oh man, but I have a feeling, you know, another real reason why I wanted you on, because I want your story to keep being respoken and respread through the podcast community. Share, because I'm in this podcast community. We call it the Poly Podcast. Hashtag Poly Podcast represents all the Poly podcasters out there. And shout outs to, I'm gonna name a few: Coca Alesa for the cultures, the Johnny Valens Show, Tima Talks. Shout out to Tima Talks, Skywalker Podcast, Thought Plantation Podcast, Back of the 135. Let's see who else we got here. Keto Island Boys, FT Podcast, Focus on the Road, and there's many more.
There's a lot of polys out there.
And it's a growing community, right? And there's many more out there that I didn't say the names, but please, you know, if I didn't, hey, you know, I still love you guys.
No.
But the reason why I said that is I love all of you guys podcasters out there representing. My cousin right here, he's really my cousin. He's my cousin. This is my cousin right here. Isaac, please, you can find him. Where can they find you at?
Right now I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. My handle's the same, Island Groove 85. Oh, I'm also on TikTok, Island Groove 85. Okay. So across the board, and even if you want to hit me up on Facebook, it's Isaac, or my middle name's on there, Isaac Tualaulelei.
And we'll put all those at the bottom of the show notes. Because, man, look, if your story can't get heard on this podcast, I really, you know, want your story to get heard on all the podcasts, because I love this podcast community space that we have, you know, and it's a great way for stories, like inspirational stories from you and for many others out there, to get out, you know. So, you know, if you have any last things before we end, because on this podcast, we always have a health tip. And I heard you talking about your fasting. What's going on? Give us, no matter what you're doing right now, if you want to talk about it, anything.
Yeah.
Give us a health tip of the day. What's your health tip of the day?
My health tip to everybody out there is just to be honest with yourself when you're doing anything. You know what I mean? If you don't feel like you're ready to take on the full capacity of what you know a diet requires of you or asks of you, then just, you know, start small. Start with portions, or start with like cutting one thing out, you know, and see if you can build with that, you know. Not to get all biblical, but the Bible says if you can't be grateful, or can't be thankful for the small things, you know, how are you gonna be able to handle the big things when they come? So I think that, and I comprehend that as with the smaller things, just be, you know, whether it's a small win, really take your time, you know, to really be truthful and honest with what's going on. For me, I did a lot of stuff cold turkey this round. So 3 weeks ago tomorrow, or no, Monday, which is in 2 days, I decided to do an intermittent fasting and also cut carbs and sugar out of my diet altogether. So not only am I not eating what I want to eat, I'm only eating between 6 hours of the day, which is a lot.
I'm doing keto. What kind of diet are you doing?
I'm doing I don't eat carbs or sugar, which eliminates everything, because there's sugar in everything.
So not a specialized diet, just something that you're.
Because that sounds a whole lot of the keto diet.
Yeah,
that's exactly what the keto diet is based on. Yeah.
Shout out to my sister Cherise. She's amazing. Hey. She's actually the one who actually has been coaching me and giving me good, you know, recipes. The thing, you know, just kind of advising me through this whole process. In the first week alone, for me, just cutting out carbs and sugars and only eating from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. at night, I lost 19 pounds.
Nice.
Which is
awesome.
Scary for some people, but like I just was grateful, and so that gave me more fuel. But during that week, you know what I mean, I was challenged, and it was like, oh my gosh, You know, because I live in a Samoan house, so guess what? Everyone's eating whatever the fuck they want to eat.
You know,
3 days, it's first like that. But that's my aggression towards that week, my first week. Box, pizza, Oreos, rice with everything. First of all, rice with everything. Yes. So
that was his biggest challenge.
Oh my gosh!
It sounds like a whole lot of the keto diet, and it's so beneficial, especially for the Polynesian community. And you know, whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter. But the majority of polys can relate to being on the diet you're on, which is it sounds a whole lot of like the keto diet, and cutting out the carbs and the sugar. Those are the enemies, because carbs, what people don't know about carbs is when you intake it, it turns into sugar. So it's pretty much sugar, you know, in a different form until you put it in your body, and then it turns into, you know, it turns into sugar, which is sugar. Yeah. So, but I'm happy for you. You know, baby steps. I think that's what I'm hearing from you. Is there anything you want to try of a diet or taking care of your health? Take the baby steps and learn from it.
Yeah. I mean, you can reference how we begin as people too, just to piggyback off of you. You know, we all start by crawling, and then after eventually you start walking, and you learn how to run, and then then you're good. So just allow that to be your process with dieting as well.
And it doesn't come overnight.
No, it doesn't.
It takes time.
It takes time. Trust me, it's been 2 weeks, and while the scale stopped moving, not stopped, but like, I'm almost at 30. It's on my third week. I'm almost at 30 pounds, but to go from 19. Second week I lost 7, so it's like that's a big change. But now the hard work comes in, because this week I'm putting in workouts. So it was like you gotta like slowly move towards your goal. My goal is 100 pounds. A little over a quarter of the way there.
Yeah. Congratulations!
I have a question. How have you been feeling, energy wise? How are you feeling right now?
So much better. You know what's funny is I was getting to the point where I was tired all the time, like. Tired, like literally, I can sit here and if we would have did this while like maybe 2 months ago, I'd probably like this. I'm not joking.
I would agree. I get it.
Fall asleep everywhere, like in the car. If I was going to sit with my mom or something, if I wasn't driving, by the time we hit the end of our block around the corner, I'm already like, it just was that's how low my energy was from all the junk I was eating. So now that I've done this 180. I'm up, like, my body wakes up at 6:30 every morning.
Your brain's running 100 miles per hour.
I'm like, well, shit, what do I do now? So I drink some water, use the restroom, wash up. Then I'm outside. Like, sometimes I go outside just to kind of, like, breathe and, like, take in the sun, watch the sunrise. You know, I'm that person. I like to let my mind breathe while I'm in the morning, map out my day and then report. But it's like, I feel better. Like, energy-wise, it felt great.
Thank God. Well, even with your daily dancing alone, as a workout, and you implementing cutting the carbs, the sugar, and eating certain foods, you're gonna see difference in time. You know, when I told my shout outs to the Keto Island Boys podcast, when I was on their podcast, I told them, I said, I'm not looking for immediate results. I'm looking for a year from now. You come back and holler at me, hey, how are you doing now? I was like, then I'll tell you the difference, because this is not an overnight thing. This is something that'll take a while, but it's a way of life. You know, it's gonna be a lifestyle.
Yep.
Yeah. But for you, dancing, and if you add on an extra workout on top of that, plus you're dieting, or cutting out all the bad food and just keeping it, man, you know, in a year, 2, 3, we probably won't even recognize you. There's the big shout out to the Keto Island Boys. If you go to their podcast, and they have an Instagram page, I love their Instagram page because they have all the polys that came on that interviewed, and they have the before and afters. And we're talking about like 2017, 2019, years, but there's such a big difference, and you hear their stories through their podcast. Then you see their before and afters, and we're talking about polys. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about polys, so
right.
Big shout outs to them. And thanks for that tip though, baby steps, because some people don't realize that you got to take baby steps first. If you just try to run right off the get-go, you're just going to be like, fuck this shit, I'm done.
No, straight up.
Plenty. I've seen plenty that have done that.
Burnout. It's called burnout. That's what you do. You burn out.
Yeah.
Burnout. You try to do this. What was that? They used to call what's his name? Bruno Mars. He said, "Lily my snuggie," and doing the P90X. That's what he was saying, right?
Oh.
Like that P90X workout. People were all into that like years ago. You can't do that. You can't do that your whole entire life. It's like, that's like killing yourself, and you got to have that crazy mind. Like, you just get it every day. Like, we're normal people.
And then they got worse. Then they had the workout called Insanity. Literally.
Yeah, insanity. That's why they call it insanity. You got to have a crazy mind for that. It's like, dog, I'm chill. I just want to have a normal life.
Right. I just want to fit my jeans from 2 years ago. That's all. I don't want to work here every day.
Look, thanks for every day. Thanks for the beautiful, talk. Damn, man, this list right here, it's we could go on, and we will.
Yes, because we're gonna do this all over again.
We are blessed to have you on season 1 of the Growin Samoan podcast. This is season 1, right? And just like we're talking about time, look, we're gonna be on this for like another 10 years, maybe even more, because our goal is to reach financial independence. And I told her, I said, once we hit that, this is all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just have podcasts and just try to keep spreading the word, spreading the stories, So
I can't wait till our next one, because I promise you I won't be in the same situation. I won't be in the same space that I'm in right now.
Right.
So I look forward to it. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I can't wait either.
And now you can actually like write down what you have already, any questions or what you wanna, talk about and bring up. See?
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm so thankful. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for having me so much. It's such an honor.
Thanks.
And family. That's the thing that makes it so special. I love just going back and forth with family. Oh, so
yes. Don't forget,
guys. I'm rooting for you guys. I have to say that. I'm so excited for you guys to grow, and I watch you guys flourish within this podcast. I think it's a great idea. I love the raw factor. That's the one thing I love about these things, is people who don't try to cut and chop and paste and make it look all like, this is me.
Look, look, you see the gray? We're quarantined.
I'm just showing my guns. I'm gonna show my guns. That's how this podcast is rough, rocking and roll. Yeah, I love it.
I know.
I love it.
I do. I mean, it's
people because people can see.
They can relate.
No, well, they can relate by the truth. That's what I told Lo. I said I can see right through people.
Yeah.
And when you see right through people, you're like, man, I don't want to see that bullshit. But if you're real, genuine, and you're really trying to get your point out across, hey, that's when they'll listen. And this podcast, when you're talking about you, then they're like, oh shit, I love that. Now I know. Thank you, Isaac. I love that.
Thank you.
And like I said, you got to get over that fear and self-doubt. You did that, and it got you to the pinnacle of your dream, and your inspiration to, if not thousands, millions.
Because you're an inspiration to us.
I'll tell you right now, every single member of our family, you're an inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
We all have, a lot of people inspired. I got a lot of people in our families that I look at too. I have a list when I put everybody on a list, the viewers, you might be on that list, family members, but, we'll see, if you're honest. But on this podcast with us, and if you want to be on the list, just give me a call.
I will.
Happen, but no, for you, you're already on the list. You're talking about you're VIP. You're up there.
You're talking about all the other viewers. If they want to be on the list,
friends or family, it doesn't matter. We have some news, for this podcast that we'll probably put out. The season ending finale. I think we got like about a few more podcasts left.
Yeah, then we're gonna take a break and then come back later in the year.
Season 2.
Yeah, we want to.
That's the beautiful thing about podcasts.
Do whatever you want.
It's your own shit. It's your own shit. You can do whatever you want. So, what? I know, huh? It's like, damn, how long has it been?
I don't know.
This is like another 3-hour podcast.
This is us. We're like, I don't know.
We've done like a 3-hour podcast before. I mean, when you're rolling, you're rolling. You just, you know, you can just keep going, you know. And then you're like, hey, buddy, and then you had the kids pulling at the end. Well, Dad, I'm hungry.
Right.
You
know, while we were podcasting, you know, the youngest, you know, he's like, you know, like walking over there, looking at us like.
What you guys can't see is they're coming with the bowl behind the camera, like, please, can I have some more?
And he's be like.
They're gonna be running the lighting and running the sound for this.
Right.
That's my legacy, you know. Is
and action.
Yep. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Just keep it going on to that. But Isaac, I love you. I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being on our podcast. Yes. Season 1.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Season 1 represents Isaac Tualaulelei. You can find at Island Groove 85 on all social medias, and Facebook is Isaac, middle name Atafua Tualaulelei on Facebook.
Sorry, I have to say to them, if I have too many friends, I'm sorry in advance, but send me a message, because every now and then I go and delete the profiles who are like old or whatever.
Yeah, non-existing friends.
Yeah, existing, and then I add the people. So I always make room.
Okay.
Is that on your Facebook page?
Facebook only.
Okay. And then we'll put all those links at the bottom of the show notes with like a whole list of all the links where you can watch Isaac and his performances, especially the one with Miss Janet, If You're Nasty, Jackson, Miss Jackson. And dang, you know, this was a bomb podcast.
Yes.
You know, I can't thank you so much, you know, for
thank you for being on having your first video podcast with us.
Well, we kick it all the time, you know. We kick it all the time. It's like family reunions, family gatherings,
that's why I said,
bonfires, chilling. But this
you're just like a calling.
Yeah. Well, no, because this is something that like we chill as family with Isaac all the time.
Yeah.
Like, what's up, cousin? You know. But this is like, all right, cousin. It's time for me to put you, or what I see about you, out there for the world to see, to help them. And you have done that today. And you're gonna do on more of our podcasts, but hopefully many more others that can hit you up and you know, spread, you know, the Isaac story.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody needs to hear it.
Yeah,
you know?
And we'd like to know updates about you and your life and where you're at that point in time.
So thank you for.
To put this out there, I'm available to anybody that the other podcasts. I'm available to hit me up.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah. That's it. You guys good?
You good?
We're gonna end it right there, and we usually take a picture.
Yep.
We just gotta look in the camera, and at this time we're gonna do something different. Like, let's all throw up the heart. Okay.
Baby, who's gonna take the photo?
No, we do it. You do it, and then all right. Look at the camera.
Ready?
Wait, I'm gonna go this way. No, I don't know how to do that, man. How you guys do that? This way. All right.
Your heart is bigger.
My heart look like is that a heart attack? It is this way?
Yeah.
This way.
Okay.
All right. Look at the camera. Say cheese.
Cheese.
All right.
All right.
I'll probably ruin it. Say peace out. Cheese.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
All right. Once again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Growin Samoan podcast. Look, people, you gotta help. If you want to help this podcast out, just give a rating.
Yeah, subscribe.
5-star, leave a star on iTunes, or
leave a comment.
Go to YouTube and subscribe to the channel.
Right.
That'll help it grow and help it reach everybody out there in La La Land to find you know, a space for our people. That's what it's all about. So once again, thank you, Isaac. We're grateful and for you having you on the show today, and we're looking forward for the future shows to have you on. And with that being said, everybody, we love you guys once again. Growin Samoan and Isaac, superstar, superstar. Soifua, Soifua. Bye guys, love you guys. Bye.